time zone, because obviously the time zone I'm in is objectively correct. Uh-oh. Well, that was fun. Hi. Oh, I think I'm getting sick. I hope not. We'll see, I guess. Okay, so I think we got the YouTube started up. We'll drop this in there. Give me a second. Okay, I think I'm dying. Why am I emotional? I don't know, man. I mean, clearly I am super emotional. Okay, if you are in the guest queue, or if you are thinking about requesting, make sure that you're 18 plus, and then you have some kind of argument or evidence that would provide rational justification for your God belief. Yeah, exactly, Blondie. I'm so totally emotional. Just I can't get over it. Oh, maybe Dilly's not going to join. The funny thing is, I actually got some really bad news today, and I kind of am emotional about it, or was at least earlier. But I don't think that I like get emotional in here ever. Oh, hey, he joined. See, I just had to yap long enough. Hi, Dilly. How old are you?
I'm 18.
And what version of God do you believe in?
Sorry, I don't know why I said I was 18. I'm 26. I'm just saying I wasn't 18.
Fair enough. I mean, I believed 18 on The Voice. I don't know if that's an insult or a compliment, but
That's all right.
Yeah, what God do you
No,
believe in?
I was believe in like pantheism.
Okay,
Pantheism.
sure. So when I talk about God, I'm talking about an immaterial mind that created and sustains the universe. Um, and if you're just saying that the universe is God, that's fine. But obviously, the universe can't create itself, so we wouldn't be talking about the same thing, right?
Well, I just believe God is higher power that's we can't understand. Just like you asked physics, what is energy, right? What
Well,
what
no,
what
no. We're talking just about what you mean when you say God. If what you mean when you say God is just the universe, well, I agree that the universe exists, and obviously there's no logical way the universe could create itself. That's a nonsensical concept. So we can't be talking then about, even if you think the universe is a mind, we can't be talking about a mind that created and sustains the universe, because the universe can't create and sustain itself. So, like I said, we would just be having a semantic dispute, and I'm not really interested in that. So, is there anything of substance that you want to discuss regarding a god, or
well, I mean, can you agree? Can we agree that God, that could be real? That God, it could be the universe. Like, can we? Or what? I don't understand why you're disagreeing with that.
yeah, all I'm interested in talking about is whether or not there's an immaterial mind that created and sustains the universe. That's not what you believe in, so I'm just going to go ahead and move on. Like I said, not really interested in the semantic dispute. Um, Hey, Bamboo and Poopman Jones and everybody and Blondie. I was mostly giving shit to uh the person that talked about me being overly emotional. I think you were just responding to the stuff that I was saying. I wasn't offended by anything you said. Um, uh, but anyway, um, yeah. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming in and supporting. Thank you for tapping the screen, and for hey Ashley, thanks for being here. Yeah, thanks for tapping the screen, for sharing the live. I appreciate it immensely. Thank you to the folks sending gifts right away. Grumpy Grandpa, appreciate you. Lem, thank you so much. Blondie, sending support immediately. Lem, again. Sir Piffington, Slice, Lou, appreciate you being here and sending support. Poopman Jones, obviously, thank you so much. Bamboo, again, happy to see you here and appreciate your support. And your continued support. Damn. Dabnese and Mickey B, thank you so much. Thistle Honey, Ashley, Disco Tits 420, that's a fun one. Thank you for supporting. Bamboo, again, thank you so much. Mijai and Horrible Maze, appreciate you all so much, sincerely. Flarf Blarf and Sir Piffington, just going nuts. Thank you guys so much. Um, And again, I appreciate you tapping the screen. Apparently, getting to 10,000 quickly helps out in the algorithm and everything. So, you guys tapping with that makes a big difference, and I appreciate it immensely. Give me one quick second, and I will. Uh, I will get to the next person. But as I always say, if you are in the guest queue or thinking about joining, make sure that you're 18 plus and that you have some kind of argument or evidence that will provide justification to believe in a God. Hey, thanks for the backing, monkey flarf blarf. Yeah, as Lou pointed out, getting a bunch of shares helps with the stream as well. So yeah, thank you so much. Hey, Cyber, thanks for the pink cowboy hat. All right. We'll actually get to the next person. If you're in the guest queue or thinking about joining, please make sure that you're an adult and that you have some kind of argument or evidence that would provide rational justification for your God belief. Hi, Alex. How old are you?
I am 20 years old.
You said 20?
Yes.
Okay. And then what God do you believe in?
I believe in the Christian God.
Cool. And then what would you say is the best argument or evidence that would give us a reason to believe in God?
I think objective morality would be the best case.
And how does objective morality give us a reason to believe in God?
Yeah, I think that the world is governed by moral laws, and I think that those laws have some sort of, I don't think that, because I feel like those laws are obliged upon every single human, and I believe that it takes a mind for that to occur, so yeah, that kind of points to God.
Well, you were talking about objective morality.
Yeah.
Now you just described subjective morality. So which is it that you're talking about?
What do you mean? How did I describe subjective morality?
You said that it takes a mind to create morals. If morals are based in a mind, then they're subjective. That's just the definition of subjective. So you're not talking about objective morals when you're talking about morals that come from a mind. So I just want to be clear. Are we talking about objective morals or are we talking about morals that come from a mind?
Yeah, I think
I just need you to answer the question, Alex. Are we talking about subjective morals? Or excuse me, are we talking about objective morals or are we talking about morals that come from a mind?
I'm talking about objective morals.
Okay, so we're talking about morals that do not have anything to do with a mind, right? That do not come from a mind?
Are you referring to a human mind?
No, I'm talking about minds simpliciter. So we are talking about morals that do not come from any mind, right?
I think if it comes from
Now, I need
God,
you to answer the question directly, Alex. Are we talking about morals that come from a mind, yes or no?
Well, in this case...
Alex, stop. Just answer the question directly. Are we talking about morals that come from a mind?
Sure, yeah.
Fantastic. So we're talking about subjective morals. We're not talking about objective morals. So what is it about subjective morals that makes us believe in a God?
I think these morals are objective.
Hold on, Alex. If we're talking about objective morals, we're talking about morals that do not come from a mind. You said we're talking about morals that do come from a mind, so we are not talking about objective morals. So what you need to do here is you need to clarify, Alex. You need to clarify whether we're talking about morals that come from a mind. I'm only asking this question one more time, and if you answer that we're talking about morals that come from a mind, then for the rest of the conversation we're talking about subjective morals. If you answer we're talking about morals that do not come from a mind, then for the rest of the conversation we're talking about morals that do not come from God's mind. So are we talking about morals that come from a mind, yes or no?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, fantastic. So if you bring up objective morals again, I'm taking it as a concession and moving on. So what about subjective morals give us a reason to believe in a God?
Can I ask rather what you...
No, you're not asking questions. You're saying that your moral system is the reason to believe in God. We've determined that you're talking about subjective morals. As far as I can tell, atheists and people of all religions can have, or of no religion and no position on it, can have subjective morals. So what I need you to do is to explain now how your subjective morals come to give us a reason to believe in a God.
Because ours has an eternal framework.
Well, that's the claim. Why should I believe that?
Because it's evident throughout human history that there is a set of morals that all humans...
So you're saying that all humans have followed the same moral code throughout human history?
there's a universal, not exactly the same, but there's universal laws
Okay,
that we
tell me the universal morals that have always been followed.
Sure. 1 second.
Honestly, I don't think this even matters because, again, we're just talking about subjective morals. So if all we're talking about is subjective morals, like, I don't see, like, you're just saying that your subjective system is better than everybody else's subjective system?
Okay, well, to be fair, right? If you're gonna let me just finish this point,
Well, if
you
you
know
do
that
that, then I'm not going to. Any meta like that is going to get you interrupted. Don't do that crying, whiny bitch bullshit.
Wait, what are you referring to?
If you
You don't
have
know what
some,
I'm gonna say.
if you're going to let me talk, I will always
No,
let you
no, I'm
talk
just
if what you're
saying.
saying is on substance and you're not trying to run away
Yeah,
from
yeah.
something.
I don't think I would consider this running away.
Well, you
So
just did it again, Alex. Every time you do that, I'm
wait,
going to
I was
interrupt
just
you.
about to speak.
Every time you do that, I'm going to interrupt you.
Do what?
Just what you just fucking did there. Get to the substance.
Okay.
Nothing?
I'm coming to you. Just wait. I told you I was gonna tell you about this. So just hold on.
So I'm asking you, can atheists have subjective morals?
Can atheists have
Yes.
subjective morals? Well, it depends on what they base it on, according to you now. But yeah, what's their worldview? Because
Is
atheists
it
have a
possible for an
plethora of
atheist?
worldview.
Is it possible to think that atheists are based in the stance of a mind?
Well, it depends on their worldview.
No, is
Let's
it
go through it.
possible for an atheist to have a worldview where they think morals are based on the stance of some mind or other? Is it possible for an atheist to believe that moral facts, the truth of moral facts, is dependent on the stance of a mind?
Okay, I disagree. I say no.
So
and
you're
I
saying
think
it's
that
not
morals are
possible.
objective.
So you're saying it's not possible for an atheist to believe that the truth of moral claims is dependent on a mind.
I think it's not possible for atheists to believe in subjective morals.
Okay, fantastic. What's the argument that is not possible, that is logically incoherent for an atheist to believe in subjective morals?
Well, so you're asking me why morals can't be subjective?
For an atheist. That's what your claim is. Your claim is that atheists cannot believe in subjective morality. What's the argument for that? You're saying it's not possible, so that means that it is impossible. So there must be some logical contradiction in an atheist holding to subjective morality. What is that logical contradiction? Just tell me the P and not P that an atheist would have to accept, then you can explain it.
Well,
just tell me the P and not P that they would have to
that's what I'm
accept.
doing. Relax. So,
Well,
in my
don't.
opinion, I think P is a subjective worldview, doesn't have any truth. Atheists believe in subjective worldviews.
No, hold on. So P is
theory.
subjective worldviews don't have any truth?
Yes.
Okay. So you're saying that an atheist is committed to the position that a subjective worldview doesn't have truth and a subjective worldview does have truth?
Yeah, a subjective
Okay, so
worldview.
fantastic. So give me the argument that commits atheists to the view that a subjective worldview doesn't have any truth and a subjective worldview does have truth. What's the argument for that?
Wait, repeat that again, sorry?
So your conclusion that you're now going to present an argument for is that being an atheist, I'm writing this down so that we're all on the same page. We can't do any moving goalposts. So being an atheist commits one to the position that subjective worldviews do not have any truth and subjective worldviews do have truth. So what is the argument that will get us to this conclusion, that being an atheist commits one to that position?
The second part of that is wrong.
No, you said this is the P for the P and not P that is the contradiction that atheists believe. If this is P, right? So if this is P, then obviously not P is going to be the negation. So a subjective worldview does have truth. So you said that believing in subjective morals causes a contradiction for an atheist. And I asked you for the P and not P. You said that this is the P and not P. You said the P
I didn't
is the
say that's the P. Wait. Listen.
Okay, well then we got to back up. What's the P and
back
not P that an atheist is committed to if they believe in subjective morals?
My P is a subjective.
No, what is
atheist.
no? Stop, Alex. Alex, I need you to understand the question that I'm asking you, and maybe we'll do this here. So, Alex's claim, um, if an atheist believes in subjective morals, they are committed to a contradiction. And then we're going to say the contradiction that they're committed to, by giving me the P and not P that they would be committed to by believing in subjective morals. What is the P and not P?
Wait, firstly, why are you saying things for me? Like in terms of contradiction and so on.
I'm saying this is what you claimed. If you want to take
I'm
this
saying
claim back,
it's
you can.
logically incoherent, right?
Okay, then what's the P and not P?
Okay. My P is that
No, what's the P and not P that atheists are committed to if they believe in subjective morals?
yeah, atheists are committed to because atheists believe in subjective
Just tell me
morals.
the P and not P, Alex. Stop with all the extra bullshit. Just tell me the P and not P. What's the specific proposition that atheists are committed to affirming and denying?
Yeah, so subjective morals entail that there is no truth, and objective morals entail that there is truth.
Okay,
Right.
so and objective morals entail that there is truth, and then they're also committed to subjective morals entail that there is, or rather, it is not the case that subjective. Well, I can just. Okay. Okay, so this is the P and not P that you think that atheists are committed to by believing in subjective morals? They have to believe in both of these?
Let me read the non-P properly. Not P properly. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, it is not the case that subjective morals entail that
It's
there
just the
is no.
negation of this thing. A P and not
Okay,
P is
sure.
just to say that you're committed to some proposition and its negation. So we can make it
Okay.
clear by saying it is the case that subjective morals entail there's no truth and objective morals entail that there's no truth. And it's not the case that subjective morals entail that there's no truth and objective morals entail that there is truth. Is this the
Sure.
contradiction that atheists are committed to?
Then premise 3 is that
No, now we're not doing premises right now. Is this the contradiction that you're saying atheists are committed to? Yes or no?
Okay, sure.
Okay, fantastic. So, being an atheist commits one to the position that it is the case and it is not the case. Okay, and what's the argument for this conclusion?
Yeah, atheists believe in the subjective morals. Therefore, there's no truth to that statement itself, and so it wouldn't make sense altogether. There's no actual substance in a subjective worldview.
Okay, well, I reject this syllogism because it doesn't follow. So why don't you try it again? Give the argument that atheists are committed to this this contradiction if they accept objective morals. Give a valid one this time.
If they accept objective morals?
Subjective, excuse me.
So if atheists accept subjective morals,
your claim is that if atheists accept subjective morals, they are committed to both of these propositions. What is the argument that an atheist being committed to subjective morals entails both of these propositions being true?
Could you give an example?
An example of what?
Of how you're framing this. Like, give an example of some other topic and put this in this frame that you.
I don't know what you're asking me to give an example of.
So this is a framework that I'm working with. Yours.
What
right?
framework? I don't know what you're talking
this
about.
This whole P and not P, 1, 2, C, whatever you made here.
You're just talking about logic. You're trying to. You want me to explain what logic is?
I want you to give another example properly, so I can.
An example of what, Alex?
So could you pull up that screen again? Yeah, could you make another example of this?
Of what?
Everything that's here, basically.
I have no idea what you're
So
asking for an
so so
example of.
so I'm saying make a claim, your P and not P, then your 1, 2, 3 reason for certain things, so I can see how you do it, because I don't know how to follow up with this reason.
Okay. So why don't I say so I would say theists, uh most theists are committed to the to uh at least one contradiction about God. And then the P that they are committed to is that it is not possible for God to change. And the not P they're committed to, it is possible for God to change. And then the argument would be something like, uh, if God, let me,
I see.
or actually, you know what? It is possible. We'll say, it is possible for God to cause the universe to come into existence. And then they're also committed to, oh shit, um, not possible for God to cause the universe to come into existence. And then the argument that I would give could be something like, um, we would give maybe this one, um, and then we would say, God, um, if God exists, then God caused the universe to come into existence, and God did not cause the universe to come into existence. So I should probably update this. What I should have said is God caused the universe to come into existence. All right, that's what I said, isn't it? God caused the universe to come into. Okay, and we'll say if God exists, then God caused the universe to come into existence, and if God exists, then God did not cause the universe to come into existence. So this is a position that most theists are going to be committed to, and I'm able to show you directly what the contradiction is. The P is the affirmation that God, if God exists, he caused the universe to come into existence, and not P is the affirmation that if God exists, then God did not cause the universe to come into existence. Those obviously directly contradict each other, as one is the negation of the other, and here is a valid and, from my perspective, sound argument that demonstrates that theists are committed to that contradiction. So, if God exists, God caused the universe to come into existence. If he caused the universe to come into existence, then he caused space and time to come into existence. If he caused space and time to come into existence, he's outside space and time. If he's outside space and time and all causes are inside space and time, then he didn't cause the universe to come into existence, and all causes are inside space and time. So that means that they are committed to God caused the universe to come into existence if he exists, and that means that if he exists, they're committed to God did not cause the universe to come into existence. And so I've shown that they're committed to that contradiction. So now, if we go back to your claim is that if atheists believe in subjective morals like you do, then they would be committed to a contradiction. You claimed that this is the contradiction that they'd be committed to. Now,
Okay.
what I would do,
Can I redo it, please, if you don't mind?
what is the contradiction that atheists are committed to if they believe in subjective morals?
Can I change my claim a little?
Okay.
Thank you. So I'd probably change it to something more like, without a divine standard, morality is reduced to personal opinions or social consensus.
Yeah, but that's exactly what it is with a divine standard. It is reduced to personal opinion and or social construction. But the problem is, even with a divine standard, morality is just personal opinion. So if you have a problem with morality being personal opinion, then you would have a problem with your subjective moral system. So clearly, you don't have a problem with. Well, actually, let me just ask the question. Do you think that there's a problem with morality being based in one mind's opinion?
Is this like a trap question? Because you
Yes,
asked
yes,
this
it is a
before.
trap question. Yes. So, from your perspective, is it a problem for morals to be grounded in one mind's opinion? You're supposed to say, yes, that's a problem, because you want to say that that's what makes atheists wrong. The problem is, I think that you're realizing that, as we discussed at the beginning of this conversation, you're actually committed to that very position. So now you're starting to realize that you can't say that's a problem because you committed to yourself to the position that you're now trying to say is problematic.
Yeah,
So
so
I
I'm
don't think you
saying
want to say that there's a problem with morals being grounded in a
no.
person's opinion.
It's more like the way you're framing it, because you're not gonna let me say anything else. Like if I want to clarify on positions, you won't let me do that.
I just let you
So
clarify your position, my dude.
no, as in like right now, as in you're asking me this question, you're only asking for yes and no, so a simplicator, which again I can't just say yes or no. You
What
know I
happened,
can't say yes
Alex,
or
when
no.
you asked to clarify your position or change your position? What happened?
So will you let me do it right now?
Change what?
You just asked me a question. I'm not just gonna say simply yes. I'm gonna clarify
No, what
why
position do you
then
want to change?
explain. No, my position stays the same. What I'm telling you is that you asking me this question
Oh,
right
no.
now.
If I'm asking you a yes or no question, then you're going to give a yes or no answer. If you want to clarify after the fact, fine. But you're going to give the yes or no answer, or I'm just going to
Okay.
keep asking the question until you do.
So
Is,
you'll
from
let
your
me explain
perspective,
after?
in your perspective, is there a problem in believing that morals are based on one mind's opinion?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, fantastic. So why is it, why do you hold a moral system that you think is problematic?
I don't think the moral system is problematic
Okay,
because
hold
it.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
Okay.
And we're going back to the blackboard here. So we're going to delete all of that, and we're going to now say, um, okay, Alex's position, morality or moral facts are grounded in the stance of one mind, and moral. Okay, I want to actually clarify this. My moral system holds that moral facts are grounded in the stance of one mind, and that any moral system where moral facts are grounded in the stance of one mind are problematic. Do you not see how this is problematic right here, Alex? There's now a contradiction in your view. You're saying don't hold moral systems where moral facts are grounded in the stance of a mind, but also I hold to a moral system where moral facts are grounded in the stance of a mind.
Well, of course, that contradiction is going to seem apparent if you don't let me explain the actual position.
That is your position. What have I misrepresented?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you
What
don't
have I
let me explain
misrepresented?
it, you didn't let me explain it.
What have I misrepresented?
You put it in
What have I
in a.
misrepresented? Just
Fair
tell
enough,
me.
bro.
Just tell me the
You
thing I
can
misrepresented.
you clearly don't want me to speak or elaborate
Yeah,
on
then when
anything.
you cry like this, I'm going to interrupt you every time. Stop doing it. Just tell me what I misrepresented.
Can I elaborate on this position?
No, you can't, because now you're just
Why?
being a whiny little bitch. Just tell
So
me
I
what
can't
I
explain.
misrepresented.
How am I crying if I can't explain?
There you go, crying again. What did I misrepresent?
Can I explain?
No, not if you ask, can I explain? If you ask a question like that again, or make some filler bullshit comment like that again, I'm just
How's that
moving on.
filler?
Just answer the goddamn question. What did I misrepresent?
I said you didn't. I said it's an apparent contradiction. Let me explain.
Okay, we're not going to keep going in circles. I think that was like over from the beginning when he realized that I wasn't going to let him pretend that his subjective morals are objective. All right. What in the fuck? Okay. Yeah, it totally threw him off script. And that's why when he came back later and he's trying to protect his position, he forgot and then contradicted himself. Anyway. I blocked him, Bradley Cooper. That was pretty obviously racist. All right. Hey, thank you so much for the support, everybody. You guys fucking rule. I don't even know where the hell I was at. Holy crap. Holy Yeah, so we had Flarf Blarf sending support, Radio Spencer, Cyber, Pokegurumi, thank you so much. Colton, Radio Spencer, glad to see you here. What is this? Fuzziest of Wuzzies? That's awesome. Thank you so much. Pokegurumi again, Carlos DJ, Bradley Cooper sending a bunch of support. Thank you so much for that. Dab Niece, Paula Solipsist, Molly Ringworm, which I still love that name. Lou, thank you so much for the applause. I appreciate the clap. Bradley N, thank you. Roger SD and Lou again. Alan Gibson, KC, Bradley N, thank you so much. Jake Goff, thank you. Peg the Patriarchy, love it, thank you. Queen Laquifa, appreciate you very much. Trev, thank you for the support. Also Parker and Neurospicy Cat Lady. Lou, thank you so much. John F, I appreciate your support. Poopman Jones, again, killing it. Thank you so much for all the support. Genuinely, it means a ton to me. KC, thank you for the drum pop. Appreciate that very much. That Girl OB, glad to see you here. And Racy Stacy as well. Thank you so much, everybody, for the support. I will check here. Oh, actually, while I'm checking, remember, guys, I do have a YouTube if you feel so inclined to go subscribe. I'd appreciate it. I do also have Discord. If you guys want to, join that community that we're building there, it's an opportunity to have more nuanced conversations that aren't just debates like I'm doing here, and to learn and grow together. And then also my PayPal and Venmo are up there, just in case anyone feels so inclined to support in that way. If not, no worries at all. Certainly not something that I expect or anything. But if you guys do feel inclined to do so, I appreciate it. I can see that comment, Poopman Jones. Yes. But yes, come to my Discord and bully CT. Not really. Don't actually do that. I do not promote bullying. Oh, I'm sorry to hear you're having glitches, Poopman Jones. Hopefully it gets squared away. But yeah, if you are in the guest queue or thinking about requesting, make sure that you are 18 plus and that you have some kind of argument or evidence that would provide rational justification for your God belief. What happened to that guy, Raw Meat? I ended up dropping him because he wouldn't engage honestly. He was trying to use meta and run away from the actual substance. And it was pretty clear that I handicapped him by not letting him pretend his subjective morals were objective. Okay, I don't know what this is. Hi, Maddie. How old are you? Hello.
Hey.
Hi, how old are you?
I am 38.
All right, and what version of God do you believe in?
The version that he is real.
Yeah, which one do you think is real?
The one true God, the only God of the Bible, Alpha and Omega, beginning and end.
I assume you mean the Christian Bible?
Yeah.
Okay,
and many things over years.
What's the argument or evidence that would provide justification to believe that God exists?
No argument or evidence. I just want to point out one thing, and it's something that I tried and I saw for myself.
All right. If you are 18 plus and you have some kind of argument or evidence that would provide justification to believe in a God, feel free to request up. I would be happy to have the conversation. We're not going to do that, though. Yeah, Ashley, I don't understand why they can't just say Christian. And also, if I bring you up, we're doing the debate. It's not here for you to just do your preaching or tell people about whatever bullshit you think worked for you to delude yourself. Thank you so much for the support, Racy Stacy, Poppy Loco, Lem, Neurospicy Cat Lady. Appreciate you all so much, sincerely. But yeah, currently don't have anybody requesting. Seems like we ran through everybody pretty quickly. But I would be happy to have the debate. So yeah, if you're 18 plus and that you have some kind of argument or evidence that would provide justification to believe in your God, feel free to come up. I'd be happy to have the debate. Okay. King, how old are you?
Hey, I'm 21.
All right. Doing well. What version of God do you believe in?
The good Lord Jesus Christ.
Cool. And then what would you say is the best argument or evidence that would provide justification to believe in a God?
We can go all the way back to the historical evidence of what people seen and what the Bible claims and the historical.
Can you do anything about the background noise? It's really hard to focus on what you're saying. Hopefully. So you said something about historical evidence. What were you saying?
Yeah, the historical evidence of the Bible, the facts of the Bible. People who study it, the historians study it.
Okay, I'm confused. What is it that's giving us reason to believe in God?
Just eyewitness testimony. I mean,
eyewitness testimony of what?
When they seen him, the crucifixion, when they seen him rise again, when they seen him raised from the dead.
Cool. Where can I read eyewitness testimony about people who saw Jesus rise from the dead? Yeah, where? What book, chapter, and verse?
Dang, I'm actually using my phone, which I would have all that stuff on. But I did have an actual other question that deferred from this. I wanted to know your reason personally. I really wanted to see from an outside perspective why you would believe in God being.
What is going on with the noise? Like, there's like all this like squeaking and high pitched whining and stuff. Like, not your whining. You're not whining. I'm just saying there's some weird noises happening while you're talking, and it's really hard to focus.
Can you answer my question, and I'll mute my microphone.
I mean, I would be just giving you an argument, basically. Like, I can tell you that I don't believe in God because there's no reason to believe in God. But the reason that I believe the positive claim that there is no God is because of a lot of different arguments that I could run, right? I think that there are lots of reasons to think that it's not possible for God to exist.
I'm sorry. Can you give me one that's maybe like your main argument?
I don't know. One I've been running recently. The first thing that I want to nail down is that like, do you have any thoughts about what causation is and how causation works?
Can you explain it?
Yeah, just like when we say something causes something else. Now, my account of causation is probably going to have something to do with events or objects, like one event causes another event, or one object doing something causes another object to do something else. But basically,
that's the thing, though. We don't believe in that.
What do you mean?
We believe God came from nothing. We believe he always was. He wasn't more created. He just always existed.
Okay, so I need you to define what cause and effect is.
You just said a cause of something equals another cause of something.
No.
Effect.
No. No, I said when one event or object interacts with another event or object in a way that changes the second one.
My bad. I meant to say that. That's pretty much. I understood that.
Okay, so do you think that that's an accurate representation of what cause and effect means?
I mean, that's what you told me your definition was. I'm pretty sure that's.
That squeaking is gonna kill me. I don't know what the squeaking is.
Don't worry about it, man. But if you could just explain that to the chat, that'd be great. What your reasoning is.
Okay. Yeah, that audio was horrible. Seemed like a decent enough person to talk to, but oof. Okay, but yeah, again, don't have anybody requesting. So if you are 18 plus and you think you have some kind of argument or evidence that will provide rational justification to believe in a God, feel free to request up. No, it's fine, King. Like, maybe if you get a better microphone or different phone or something, or have a computer or something, you could come up another time. But yeah, whatever that squeaking and stuff was brutal. Okay. All right, put that in my notes. Good faith, but horrible audio. But yeah, if you are in the guest queue or if you're thinking about requesting, please make sure that you're 18 plus, and that you have some kind of argument or evidence that will provide rational justification for your God belief. John, how old are you?
40.
And what version of God do you believe in?
Yeah, this is all my personal opinion. I believe in a Manichaeanism, spirit world, a Gnosticism, if you will, a concept of good and evil.
Like Christian Gnosticism?
I wouldn't say Christian. I'm an ally of Christianity, but I'm not a Christian.
But you do believe in like an immaterial mind that created and sustains the universe?
I believe in God, yeah. Spirit world, yeah.
Okay, and when you say God, you're talking about an immaterial mind that created and sustains the universe?
I guess you could say
And what would you say is the best argument or evidence that would provide justification to believe in a God?
Well, Luciferians convince me that the
Well, I don't
devil.
really care who convinced you of what. I'm asking for the argument or evidence that a God exists.
Well, there's no reason to be rude.
Yeah, I know. And that's why you shouldn't have been rude by refusing to answer my question directly. So maybe you can
Wasn't.
fix that. Maybe you can fix that and actually stop being rude and you can just answer the question. What's the best argument or
No,
evidence that would give
that's.
us a reason to believe in God?
Look, I know you're.
You're doing the rude thing again, John. Please stop doing
No,
it. We
you're
just talked
being
about
rude.
how
You
it's
fat
not okay
piece
to
of
be rude.
shit.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
fat fucking
Right.
scumbag.
Right,
Yeah.
because if you have to
Yeah,
actually
absolutely.
talk about the content of what you believe, you're fucked, right? And so when somebody actually
No.
tries to get you to talk about the content, the substance, you freak out and you have to start throwing insults because you don't have anything of
No.
substance, huh?
You were rude first.
Oh, really? Because I remember asking you a direct, simple question
I
and then
did.
you
You
not
cut me
giving an
off.
answer. Yeah,
All
because you weren't
facts.
answering because you were being rude. So we can
All
go back
facts
to the
off.
beginning and maybe you can
Took
act
you
like an
way back
adult.
300
So
pounds.
what would you say is the best argument or evidence that would give us a reason to believe in a God?
Yeah, Luciferians such as Michael Aquino.
All right, fantastic. Since you don't have anything of substance, we can just go ahead and move on. And also, let's get it right. I do not weigh 300 pounds. I weigh 400 pounds. Don't disrespect my girth. Y'all don't know shit. You think you know fat? You don't know nothing about being fat. I mean, it's just a fact. All right. If you are, hey, thank you very much for the support, everybody. If you are in the guest queue or thinking about joining, make sure that you're 18 plus and that you have some kind of argument or evidence that will provide justification to believe in a God. How tall am I? I'm only 6 foot tall. All right. Hi, Swear Dog. How old are you?
Hey, 29.
And what version of God do you believe in?
I don't believe or disbelieve first.
Okay, well, just talking to people who do believe in God, okay?
Sure.
All right, if you are 18 plus and have some kind of argument or evidence that will provide justification to believe in a God, feel free to come on up. You sound like you're tiny, Pokegurumi. Well, the difference between Darth Dawkins and myself is that I actually want to talk about the substance, and that's when I interrupt people is when they don't talk about substance. Darth is the opposite. He will not let anyone talk about substance ever. Oh, I didn't think about it the other way. Could be massive. 5'1". Oof. All right. If you are in the guest queue or thinking about joining, make sure that you're 18 plus and that you have some kind of argument or evidence that will provide justification to believe in a God. All right, Deathless, how are you today?
Fine. So we have a truth. So I have an argument which is necessarily true. Can't be wrong.
Okay, hold on. What I'm going to need from you is to make sure that we're only using like normal, everyday, natural language, and we're not getting into any jargon or specialized terminology. Okay?
I'll do my best.
No, I'm telling you that that's a requirement, and as soon as you violate that, I'm just going to move on. Okay?
Okay.
Cool.
So I'll just beat you using regular language. It'll be easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. So God is the identity of perfection. Perfection is maximal coherence. This is the definition we're using.
Okay, hold on. God is the identity of perfection. Perfection is maximal coherence.
Coherence.
I need
Yes.
you to explain maximal coherence.
Minimal contradictions possible.
So just no contradictions?
If that's what maximal coherence entails, then yes.
No, I'm asking you to clarify what
No
maximal coherence
Nope.
is.
It means no contradictions.
Okay, and okay, so maximal coherence means no contradictions. Okay?
Sure. And
So basically,
now,
so what you're saying is
Mhm.
that God is the identity of not having contradictions.
correct.
Okay? I don't know what that means. Explain to me what that means for God to be the identity of that.
So if God is the identity of that which lacks contradictions, and contradictions don't exist, God would be the universal
No,
identity.
what I need you to do, Deathless, is explain to me what it means for God, like to say God is the identity of something. I don't understand that phrasing.
Sure. Well, in this particular instance, to be an identity is to be the object of reference with respect to a proposition.
Okay, so you just did the thing, Deathless. I'm going to give you one warning. Don't do that again. That's what I specifically told you not to do, and that doing it would get you dropped. So please explain to me. Please explain to me what it means to say that God is the identity of something.
God is that meaning of a thing that cannot be equated to anything else.
God is the meaning of a thing that cannot be equated to anything else, right?
Yes.
Okay, I need you to explain that because I do not understand what that means.
The reason why you don't understand it is because you're having me speak in kindergarten speak.
Well, if you can't explain the concept in kindergarten speak, then you don't understand the concept. So just try one more time. So try one more time. What does it mean for God to say God is the meaning of a thing that cannot be equated to anything else? What does that mean?
God is meaning itself.
Okay, I don't know what it means to be meaning itself. What does it mean to say God is meaning itself?
Well, you just use a sentence you term in a sentence showing you meant it. That was a performed contradiction. So you lost that.
So are you going to explain it or no?
I just beat you on that. It was a performative contradiction. You showed you know what it meant by asking me what was the meaning of meaning.
I didn't say I don't know the meaning of meaning.
No, I just beat you. Just lost the argument.
Okay, so do you want to actually engage, or do you just want to beat on your chest?
I'd love to be able to get to the rest of
I know, I would like to as well. So explain to me what it means to say that God is meaning itself.
To be meaning itself is to be the relationship between two words that are interchangeable.
Relationship between two words that are...
Two or more words, as a matter of fact.
Two or more words that are interchangeable. So God is just the concept of self-similarity?
Exactly.
Okay, so at the beginning, what you actually meant, what you could have just said is that when you say God, all you actually mean is the identity relationship.
Oh, that's exactly what I said. The identity of perfection.
No.
Oh.
No,
shit.
This is totally different.
And that's exactly what I started.
No, hold on, Deathless.
Oh,
you did start there. You did start.
Yeah, I know I did.
Hold on. Calm down.
God was the identity of perfection.
Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
Gotcha.
No,
Gotcha.
There's a difference between saying
Look,
God.
you can cry. It's okay.
Hold on. There's a difference between saying God is the identity of X versus saying God is the identity relationship itself. Those are different things. So I need you to explain.
Not at all. I'll explain to you how and why. Because if a thing is perfectly self-identical, then the thing is the identity of its own self-perfection.
No, this is just word salad. This is just word salad.
It's actually true on tautology.
Okay, so you need to go back to the...
So that P conjunct P is P and P.
All right, well, you did it again, Deathless, so I'm just moving on.
So we just beat you there, too.
Before. Yeah, if you can't actually have a conversation where you explain concepts and engage and have like a back and forth, then there's nothing that we can do. So he said that God is the identity of perfection, and then he said that God just is the identity relationship itself. Yeah. Oh, I'm absolutely low tier CB14. You're 100% correct about that. All right. Well, I'm not LARPing. That's not true. If I was LARPing, I would be pretending not to be low tier. From God is the identity of perfection to God is identity itself. All right. If you are in the guest queue or thinking about joining, make sure that you're 18 plus and that you have some kind of argument or evidence that will provide rational justification for your God belief. Deathless, I see you requesting, but I told you that if you went into all the jargon, you were getting dropped, and you went into jargon because you just couldn't control yourself. I was trying to have a good faith conversation with you, and you refused. So you can come back in a month or two. Hi, Rule. How old are you?
Hello, I'm 19.
Okay. And what version of God do you believe in?
Oh yeah, perfect. I believe in Allah.
All right. And then what would you say is the best argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in a God?
Oh, okay.
Is there some big delay? I'm going to count to 3, and then I want you to say 4. 1, 2, 3.
4.
Okay, so there's no delay. I'm confused what's happening. What's the best argument or evidence for God?
Oh yeah, perfect. Yeah, so do you know what it says in the Quran, chapter 21, verse
No, I
31?
couldn't care less what it says in the Quran. What's a good reason to believe in God?
Well, why are you getting so angry?
When did I get angry?
You just said you couldn't care any less. That sounds
Yeah, I could not care less what it says in the Quran. I don't have to be angry to acknowledge that fact. I'm asking you for some argument or evidence that would provide a reason to believe in God.
Why don't you care what's in the Quran?
Because there's no reason to care what's in a holy book if I don't believe the God that it talks about exists. So I would need you to demonstrate to me that the God exists before I could possibly have a reason to care what's in the holy book. So what's the reason to think that God exists?
Well, here's the thing. In that chapter,
I don't care. We're not talking about anything inside the Quran right now. So we're just asking. We're just asking. What's the reason to believe in a God? I don't care.
How did it know that fact?
Yeah, let's say that there's just some coincidence that I can't explain. What's the reason to believe in a God?
So you don't have an answer.
So what's the reason to believe in a God?
So perfect. You just conceded that point.
No, I didn't concede anything. I'm saying it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter whether I have an answer or not.
For that verse?
It doesn't matter if I have an explanation. What's the reason to believe in a God?
You're showing your ignorance.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you one more time. If you're not able to engage in the substance, I'm just going to move on. What would be an argument or evidence that would provide a reason to believe in a God?
Okay, sure. Do you know the contingency argument?
Yep. Which version do you like to run?
Sure. The universe is composed of pieces. Yo, hello. Can you hear me?
I'm waiting for the argument.
My friend, I can't hear you. If you're wondering, your screen's also frozen.
Seems to be fine. Oh, okay. There you go. That's a pretty good strategy. Oh, you're frozen. You're frozen. I can't give the argument because there's a technical problem. Oh man. They do indeed love playing games, Astronova. They do indeed. That was hilarious. Okay. Good times. Thank you so much, everybody, for the support. I don't know where I was at. Thank you to Drew and the Bamboo and Spiritual Salmon Sushi. That sounds fun. Spiritual Ghost Salmon Sushi. Lou, thank you so much. Poppy Loco. Benjamin Washington, appreciate your support. Elizabeth B. Andred, thank you so much. What is this? Just Deconstructing. Thank you so much for the support, Deconstructing. Saint Lee. Oh, Liz, thank you so much for being here and for sending support. I love you and appreciate you. Poopman Jones, thank you so much. And Gitano, thank you a ton for the 56 roses. Holy crap, holy. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Sorry, thought I had something. All right, yeah, if you're in the guest queue or thinking about joining, please make sure that you're an adult and that you actually have some kind of argument or evidence that will provide justification to believe in a God. Pretended to have tech issues so he could run. All right. Oh, wow, Bible Guy, thank you so much. He's sending people over, and that just, I so appreciate it. Hi, Ray, how old are you?
Hey, I'm 27, man.
Okay, and what version of God do you believe in?
I grew up.
I can't hear you. Hello? Hello?
So sorry, man. I was getting a call at the same time as you were speaking, and I just canceled it out. What was that?
Yeah, I was just asking what version of God you believe in.
Yeah, I grew up Roman Catholic, so Catholicism.
Okay, and then what would you say is the best argument or evidence that would provide justification to believe in a God?
Sure. A little bit of a unique take, I guess. I don't know how many different variations you've heard, but is it cool? Do you need me to dive like right into almost the end, or could we have a little bit of build up? That's actually going to hold some substance for the argument.
If there's something that we need, we'll find out when we get there. I personally have no patience for preamble, so I just want the argument.
Okay, no, it's coinciding with both science and math. That's what I was getting to. It's not like this whole. I'm not talking about parts of the Bible or anything like that. So that's what I'm.
I just want the argument, please.
Sure. So, do you remember any of Newton's laws and laws of science?
Okay, so I just want the argument, please.
No, I'm trying to.
Yep, we're not doing the Socratic thing. I just want the argument, or you present the evidence, whichever it is.
Then maybe the way that I have to present it doesn't work with your live. Then I'm sorry. I'm not trying to waste your time. Then, thank you.
So you don't have an argument you can present.
No, not one that you seem like that you would like. So no.
Okay. Well, I mean, I just want an argument that concludes that God exists. So you don't have anything like that?
Well, my argument is God exists based off of scientific evidence.
Yeah. So just present
in this world.
Just present the argument and the evidence.
Okay. So the argument being is that there are parts of math that are absolute, and there's parts of math that are not absolute. There's parts of science that are absolute that we know of in the universe, like Newton's law, that claims energy cannot be created nor destroyed.
What do you mean by absolute?
Meaning that there is irrefutable proof that we understand on this planet as humans that those things are true.
So you're just saying that there are parts of math that have been verified to be true and parts that haven't, and there are parts of science that have been verified to be true and parts that haven't?
That is correct.
Okay, so here's going to be my recommendation moving forward. Just say the thing that you mean instead of the like jargony way that makes you feel smart. So there are parts of math and science that we understand and parts of each that we don't, okay?
Okay, so that's I guess a more cleaner way of saying it. I'll do my best. I will try. I promise you, I will try to do my best at that. So, in terms of both of these, God exists for the simple reason that energy cannot be created nor destroyed. That means something had to be there prior. So, regardless of the Big Bang or whatever way that we want to see the Earth come to be, there had to be a beginning to it.
Hold on.
Sure.
I think you've just fucked your argument there.
Okay.
So you're saying energy cannot be created or destroyed, right?
That is correct. It has to be transferred somewhere within the universe.
Okay. Right. So energy can't be destroyed, and it exists in the universe, right?
Correct.
Okay.
It has to be transferred.
Energy cannot be created, and energy. Oh, wait, hold on. We can agree that energy exists, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's
fantastic.
The whole point.
And so if energy cannot be created or destroyed, and it exists in the universe, or wait, hold on. If energy exists in the universe, then if energy exists, then the universe exists. If energy cannot be created and exists, then energy has always existed. If energy has always existed and exists in the universe whenever it exists, then the universe has always existed. So we'll draw first conclusion here. The universe has always existed. If the universe has always existed, then it was never created. If God exists, then he created the universe. So C2, God does not exist. Which premise would you reject?
The part that God does not exist.
No, that's a conclusion, genius. Which premise do you reject?
Okay, man, you are hostile sometimes.
Am I hostile, or am I just, impatient with bullshit? Because I just want to stick on the substance.
Okay, let me take a quick read. We can. I would love your clarity on number 5. If energy has always exists in the universe whenever it exists, then the universe has always existed. I don't think there's any there. I don't think that there is any issue with claiming that the universe has always existed. But what do we actually perceive to be the universe then? Is it everything, including dark matter and everything that's out there, or is it the stars and the planets, everything that we can visibly see?
I would say the universe is like the conjunction of all things that, like, maybe we'd say like all material and physical things.
Okay, so according to you, only material. So that means nothing that is
I said material and
visible
physical
to us. Okay. So within the time of the universe, that means if energy has always existed.
So I need you to reject the premise or accept the conclusion that God doesn't exist.
I reject number 6.
Okay, so if the universe has always existed, then it was never created?
Parts of the universe had to be created by somewhere.
So you're saying that it's possible for the universe to always exist and to be created?
Correct.
Okay, so I will motivate. So the conclusion I will give an argument for: if the universe has always existed, then it was never created. Okay, so then we're going to say, if the universe was created, then it came into existence. And if the universe always existed, then it never came into existence. Therefore, if the universe has always existed, it was never created. So which premise do you reject?
Let me see. I'm sorry. I'm moving around a little bit, so the connection's spotty. Give me one moment here. There's always this thing. I would reject this. I would reject C. I would reject C for the simple, for the reason. I mean,
are you just trolling?
I'll be.
Please tell me you're just trolling.
No.
Just for your own sake, I don't want anybody to think that you really just did that. Just please, just even if you're not really trolling, just for the sake of the audience, just pretend that you were trolling, and then we can move on.
I mean a little bit, man.
Okay,
but, like,
cool. So
I'm
which premise? Yeah. So which premise do you actually reject?
I'm trying to.
Or do you accept that if the universe has always existed, it was never created?
Well, no, God is existent within the universe before the conception of material.
So I'm asking you to either you reject number 1, or you reject number 2, or you accept the conclusion. Those are your options, unless you can point out a problem with the inference rule.
I'm sorry, with the what rule?
Inference rule.
Inference. Okay. Can you lay that out for me a little bit, because I'm a little unfamiliar with what you're trying to lay out? Sorry.
So we're gonna say an inference rule is just like how the inference was arrived at, like how the conclusion follows from the premises. And so this one is going to be C implies E, we'll say, and then A implies not E. And so then we're going to say E implies, hold on. The universe was created, it came into existence. The universe always existed, then it never came into existence. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I fucked up here. So A means not C. That's where we go. So this is the inference rule. So if C is true, then we know E is true. And we know that if A is true, then E is not true. So that means that if A is true, C is not true.
Okay, I think I'm following. I'm sorry, not my strong suit in this case here, but I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, cool. So now we've shown that the inference rule works. So do you
Okay.
reject 1 or 2, or do you accept that if the universe always existed, it was never created?
Man, you see, there's validity.
So
like, bits of
no,
validity
we're
to
not
all
doing
of
this,
it.
Ray. We're not doing this.
I'm-
I don't play these games. Your options here are to run away with your tail tucked between your legs, reject a premise, or accept the conclusion.
Well, you're telling me to accept something.
Okay,
that
so
you wrote
Ray,
up for me, though.
the next thing
Hold
that you
on.
say, is either going to be rejecting 1 or 2, or accepting the conclusion. If you say anything else, then we're taking it as running away with your tail between your legs.
I'll gladly take my tail, my friend. Have a good one.
All right, fair enough. Because you know that you can't actually argue the point. All right. Runaway Ray, that's funny. Oh, man. Good times. All right. If you are in the guest queue or thinking about joining, make sure that you're 18 plus and that you have some kind of argument or evidence that will provide justification to believe in a God. Hold on. What even was that argument? Any good arguments today, Tiny Science? No. I think the best that we've gotten so far was a guy whose audio was terrible, and I had to kick him because of it. Okay. All right. So once again, if you're requesting or thinking about requesting, make sure that you're an adult and you have some kind of argument or evidence that will provide justification to believe in a God. Thank you so much, Casey, for the Djembe Master. Thank you, Tiny Science and Gitano, for the support. Thank you, Owly, so much. Andrea, Dipster, Mineral Stree. Oh, Mineral Stree of Doug. Nice. I like that. Thank you so much. Cool to see some DZ followers here. Gitano or Gitano, Radical Jackal. Jackalope, Radical Jackalope, thank you very much. Dipster, Molly Ringworm, Perkins, Gitano, Poopman Jones, thank you so much, everybody, for the support. Okay. All right, if you're in the guest queue or thinking about joining, make sure that you're an adult and you have some kind of argument or evidence for God. Hi, Professor, how old are you? Well, I can't hear you if you're off the app.
I don't know what happened.
Hey, how old are you?
Oh,
and then immediately gone again. You got to be on the app.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, how old are you?
I'm 21. Can you hear me?
I can now. What God do you believe
Oh,
in?
yeah. I believe in Jesus Christ, the Son of God.
Okay, and then what would you say is the best argument or evidence that would provide justification to believe in a God?
The Bible.
And how would the Bible give us justification to believe in a God?
The devil.
Okay, are you going to say anything of substance, or are you just going to keep saying single words?
What about the commandments?
So why would I believe in a God?
Yeah, like if you believe in the shit you talking about, do you think the commandments are wrong?
Yeah,
like about
obviously.
killing people and shit?
No,
like,
I just think the most of the commandments are about not offending God's sensitive fifis, and I don't give a fuck about that.
Oh, okay. All right, sorry, buddy. All right, bye-bye.
That was all it took? Just to say that I don't care about the God's precious 10 commandments? Don't hurt my feelings, and then also don't hurt my feelings. Like, how many of the 10 commandments are just God saying, don't hurt my feelings? All right. Once again, if you're in the guest queue or thinking about joining, please make sure that you're an adult and you have some kind of argument or evidence that will provide rational justification to believe in a God. Hi, Scholastic, how old are you?
19.
Okay, and what God do you believe in?
I'm a Thomas Catholic.
Okay, and what would you say is the best argument or evidence that would give us reason to believe in a God?
The argument for motion is formulated by Aristotle.
Well, I mean, you know that argument doesn't work. I've watched you fail multiple times on it. Do you really want to run it again?
Okay.
I mean, you know it doesn't work, right? I hold to eternalism, and that argument just completely falls apart because obviously I don't believe in actualization of potential.
Okay, so do you agree change exists?
Change, but not actualization of potential.
Yeah, so how do you account for change?
Yeah, it's just going to be something like a thing holding contradictory properties at different points in space-time.
That's a normative explanation. That isn't an account for why it is.
Then I don't understand what you're asking me for.
Sorry, I mean, like, why is it that things change? What causes things to change?
Oh, I don't think anything causes things to change.
Change is a real property of a thing?
I don't really believe in properties.
How can you have something uncaused?
Oh, so you think that all things that exist have to be caused?
All sensible things, yes.
Okay, so your position is that all things that exist must be caused, yes or no?
I said all sensible things.
Okay, so
yes.
I just need you to directly answer the question. Is it your position that all things that exist need to be caused?
No.
Oh, fantastic. So then we don't need to worry about that. Do you have anything of substance?
I don't understand. Why can't I make an exception to the rule? All sensible things. How would you account for the change in sensible things?
So what's the argument for God? Because we already know that this argument for motion doesn't work. I mean, I think that you know that, right?
You're question begging.
Okay, so if you think that the argument works, then, I mean, just respond to the critique that eternalism is true, and if eternalism is true, change is not the actualization of potential, and therefore there is no actualization of potential.
Okay, so under eternalism, you mean B theory of time?
No, I mean eternalism.
What do you mean by eternalism?
Yeah, that the entire 4D block of the universe exists eternally, without beginning or end.
How is this different to B theory?
Yeah, because they're like growing block theories that are B theory, but not eternalism.
And you'd say change isn't caused?
Right.
How do you come to this conclusion? Isn't this just like denial of principle of cause?
No, I'm saying that change, I mean, in our colloquial sense, the way that we're going to think about causation is, that change is going to be involved in that. But I think if we're talking about, in a more rigorous sense about the actual state of the universe, we're going to say that what changes is just simply something being different at different points in space-time. Whether that means like a road changing from 2 lanes to 4 lanes because, for one stretch of the road it's 2 lanes and another stretch it's 4 lanes, or if we're talking about me currently being sitting down and then later I will be standing up, those are contradictory properties. A road can't be 2 lanes and 4 lanes at the same time in the same way, but it can be 2 lanes and 4 lanes by having that be different at different points in space-time. In the same way, I can't be standing and sitting at the exact same time, but I can be standing at one point in space-time and sitting at another.
Okay, and which of the premises of argument for motion would you reject?
Premise 1?
But you just said change exists. Premise 1 is by our senses we are able to perceive change exists.
Okay, maybe I'm looking at a different formulation. What formulation are you using?
Do you want me to give all the premises?
Yeah, but don't do it in that bullshit way that you just did. Just give it in like, normal everyday, 2026 language.
Okay.
If you have to define a word, you're fucking up.
Things change.
Okay.
Something can only be changed by something already changed with its respect to what is being changed.
I don't understand what that means.
Can I give an example to help?
I need you to clarify what changed by something already changed with its respect to.
Yeah, that for example, water can only become hot by something already hot. That's what I mean by respect to its change.
Okay.
And then, are you aware of what an essential series is?
Again, if you have to ask questions like that, you're fucking up.
So, this is a series which does not
The premise 3 is this is a series?
I haven't finished. Premise 3 is this is a series which cannot regress infinitely. And then P4, you have a first member of this series which has no change, and this we call God. Sorry, can I just ask stuff with like essential series? Why can't I use terms like that when they're important? Again, eternalism.
Because if you can't explain something in a way that any normal person can understand, then you don't understand it well enough to be talking about it.
Okay, then by essential series.
No, we're not doing definitions. No, I'm not. Let's imagine that I spoke a language you didn't speak. Do you think it would be a fair debate tactic for at the beginning of our conversation for me to just define a dozen words in that language you don't speak and then give the syllogism and give the entire argument using those words that you just learned? Of course that wouldn't be fair.
That's why before I...
Yep, so we're not going to do defining terms. You're just going to use normal, everyday language. If you cannot do that, then you cannot have these debates.
What do you mean by normal language?
If that is something that you can't grasp, then you're not capable of having this conversation. So do you understand what normal, non-specialized language is?
I think so.
Yeah, of course you do. So what you're saying here is that you're not actually giving the argument from motion.
I've made a weaker version so that your objections don't hold.
So give me the why should we assume that the first member is God?
This series cannot regress infinitely.
That is not an answer to my question.
And I'm sorry, I'm trying to
just answer the question directly. You don't need to back up 5 steps.
It cannot be changed, and the only thing which is unchanging is God.
Well, that's just the claim. I'm asking you to justify that, dude. I said, why should we think that the first member is God? And you're saying, well, because the first member is God. That's not an answer to the question.
Anything with materiality or dependency has change, and God is the only thing without dependency. Would you disagree that God is the only thing without dependency?
No.
Okay, yeah, then I'm glad we can agree. So yeah, the first cause would be have no dependency, and because of this...
What? I said no. I said I don't agree. You said, is God the only thing without dependency? And I said no.
What's something else that has no dependency?
The universe.
The universe has laws which underlie it.
Nope.
Do you think the universe exists necessarily?
Yep.
Do you believe in brute facts?
Yeah, I mean, there have to be some.
How do you arrive that brute facts exist?
Oh, so you don't believe in any brute facts?
No.
Oh, okay, cool. So then what's the explanation for why God exists?
Divine simplicity.
No, what's the explanation? What's the mechanism that explains his existence as opposed to his non-existence?
God is being itself.
No, what's the mechanism that explains his existence and not his non-existence? Saying that he's being itself is just appealing to that he has to exist as a brute fact. You said you don't have brute facts in your view, so obviously you don't actually believe that. So what is the mechanism that explains his existence as opposed to his non-existence?
What do you mean by brute fact?
A fact that is true without any further explanation.
So like a denial of PSR?
No. Because we're not talking about contingent things. PSR is about contingent things.
PSR is about the reasoning that something is the way it is.
The principle of sufficient reason has to do with contingent things, my guy.
Yes, for the explanation of its being.
Yeah, for contingent things. We're not talking about just contingent things. You asked me if I believe in brute facts simpliciter. We're not talking about brute contingencies. We're talking about brute facts simpliciter. So the PSR does not enter in here. I'm sorry that you don't understand what the PSR is or what brute facts are, but you said that you don't have any brute facts in your view, And since brute facts are simply facts that don't have a further explanation, that means that every fact in your view has a further explanation, which means the fact that God exists in your view has a further explanation. So, what is the further explanation for the fact that God exists in your view?
Would you say self-referential?
What is the further explanation for the fact that God exists in your view?
You said
what is the further
facts.
explanation for the fact that God exists in your view? If the next thing you say is anything other than an answer to that question, then I'm just going to take it as an admission from you that you know you can't answer the question, and the only way you'd be able to continue the conversation is obfuscation, and that's my signal to move on. So for the last time, what is the argument? What is the explanation for God's existence?
For God's existence, there's argument for motion.
So you're not even going to try?
Maybe I misunderstood you. You asked me what's the reason for God's existence.
No. What is the further explanation that justifies why God exists instead of not existing? Not what's the argument why we should believe that he exists. What is the justification, the explanation for why he exists instead of not existing? Because if you don't have an explanation for it, then his existence is a brute fact, but you said you don't have any brute facts in your view. So what is the explanation for why God exists instead of not existing, keeping in mind that if the next thing you say is anything other than that explanation, it's simply a concession that you know you don't have it.
The self-referential fact that he is logically necessary.
Right, it's a brute fact. Thank you very much for the concession. I don't have any brute facts. It's just a fact that doesn't have any further explanation. Unbelievable. Good times. Yeah, it's not a brute fact. It's just a brute fact. That's all. All right. If you are in the guest queue or if you're thinking about joining, please make sure that you are 18 plus and that you have some kind of argument or evidence that will provide rational justification to believe in a God. Hey, CT, I saw your request in. What's up?
It was just crazy that you got two Catholic Thomists back to back.
Yeah, we had Ray, who thought he could, I don't know, run away from logic, I guess. And then Scholastic, who thought that he could reject brute facts and then appeal to a brute fact.
Yeah, like the the brute contingency facts definitely I disagree with, but yeah, like if brute facts implicator, yeah, like God would be that brute fact.
Yeah, it has to be. Yeah, but
yeah.
He had to try to say that I couldn't appeal to brute facts because if I could, then he had no argument against my position. So he had to say that I couldn't appeal to them and that there was a problem. And the only way he could say that is to say that he didn't have them. And I mean, that obviously just painted himself into a corner at that point.
Yeah. Do you have anyone requesting up? If not,
I got a ton.
Okay. Then I'll drop down because I had an idea I wanted to run by you, but we can do it later.
All right, yeah, we'll talk about it. Thanks, man. All right, if you are in the guest queue or thinking about joining, make sure that you're 18 plus and you have some kind of argument or evidence that will provide justification for your God belief. I don't know that I don't think I grant brute contingencies, but I'm not 100% sure. Brute necessities, though, it seems like there has to be at least one brute necessity. I mean, maybe not, but it seems like it. Well, Black Swordsman begging in the chat is what gets you skipped. Hi, Endrit. How old are you? Is this the best you got? Fair enough. All right, if you're in the guest queue or thinking about joining, make sure that you're 18 plus and that you have some kind of argument or evidence that will provide justification to believe in a God. Hi, Jeremy. How old are you?
Hello. Hello again, Ogar. We spoke before. I'm 19.
Oh, okay. Do I need to look it up? Should I be worried?
No. We had a fair conversation, and I will completely admit you had me because I used words that had definitions that I did not need to use.
Ah, yeah. I have here words he couldn't define, principles he doesn't believe in.
But I've done some more research.
I appreciate it. If we had a good faith conversation, I usually end those by saying, come back and convert me.
That's how it went.
Okay,
What?
so okay, I had you as a Christian. You're still a Christian?
Yes, sir. Always.
All right. And then, well, I mean, hopefully you don't mean that, because, I don't think any of us should have that level of confidence in our positions. It's of course epistemically possible that either of us is wrong, or both of us for that matter. But anyway, what would you say is the best argument or evidence for God?
I would like to continue on my last idea. I've done more research on it because I feel like it's more fair to continue on that now that I've done research.
Okay, I have no
Going
idea
back
what
to
we
the-
talked about before, other than the note that I just read. So you'll have to start me over from the beginning.
We talked about the idea of fine tuning and the possibility of coincidence, which I'm not going to use the word coincidence because I still can't define. That's a really hard word to define.
All right.
So going on to the Big Bang Theory, right? It was a little.
Do we both agree that the Big Bang has nothing to do with the universe's beginning?
I do not believe so.
I don't know what you mean by that answer. Sorry.
I do not believe in the Big Bang. I do not remember if you do or not.
Right. I do believe in the Big Bang, but what I'm saying is that the Big Bang is simply a description or explanation of the expansion of the universe. It has nothing to do with whether the universe has a beginning. So if all you're talking about is the expansion, then we can talk about the Big Bang, but I don't know how that would be relevant. But if we're trying to talk about the universe having a beginning, then we would need to talk about something other than the Big Bang.
No, I'm not talking about the beginning. I'm talking about
the expansion.
We could talk about. We could call it an expansion. I'll agree with you on that.
Okay.
So, the Big Bang is believed to be a little tiny ball with something spinning around it. Correct?
No.
All I know is I did my research and it was said that it was something spinning. It came from something spinning. It started off as an atom spinning in a circle and then it exploded.
No. I don't know where you were researching, but it doesn't sound like it was a good resource for you to be researching at. The Big Bang is simply saying that the visible universe that we know expanded from previously being condensed to a hot, dense state. That's all the Big Bang says. That everything that is in the observable universe, all space, time, matter, all of it was condensed into a hot, dense state. And then about 13.8 billion years ago, it started expanding. And then the Big Bang just talks about how that expansion worked, how dense everything was, how it took like 300,000 years before light could even travel because things were so closely packed together for so long. I don't know about this spinning stuff or something spinning around something. I don't know anything about that.
That's what I heard from the atom, like that heated up and expanded. It was spinning. Maybe inaccurate resources.
Oh, and Sober just corrected me. So when I said that light couldn't exist for about 300,000 years because it was too close together, I was wrong. It said it was too hot still. So my mistake.
Well, if something were to... Well, I guess it kind of doesn't really explain that. But I guess this works. If something were to expand, right? And have something... and shoot something out, and there's no gravity. So with those things, there's no gravity in space.
What? There's no gravity in space? What?
Or when the Big Bang happened, there was no gravity in space. Nothing caused gravity.
Incorrect. It sounds like maybe you need to do some more research, Jeremy. I don't know what you're talking about or where you got this information.
There's gravity in space?
Yes. Yeah, that's why planets and stars exist, is because there's gravity in space.
The whole point of space is that there's zero gravity, though.
No. The reason that we talk about there being zero gravity in space is just because when you get far enough away from the Earth and other bodies with a lot of mass, you don't feel any gravity. But that doesn't mean there's no gravity or that gravity doesn't exist between planets. It just means that there's no specific object pulling on you. But that's like saying that, like, I don't know, like, what's a good example? Like, that electricity doesn't exist because my TV's not on right now. Like, just because my TV's not on and doesn't have electricity flowing through it in the way that it would if it was on, doesn't mean that the electricity doesn't exist or that my outlets don't work. In the same way, if you find a region of space that doesn't have a bunch of objects in it, so there's nothing like pulling stuff together in that specific region, that doesn't mean that gravity doesn't exist there. That just means that there's nothing there to instantiate a gravitational relationship.
Maybe watching Interstellar as research wasn't a good idea.
Jeremy.
It's a good movie though. You gotta admit.
Okay, don't hate me. I've actually never seen Interstellar.
That honestly might be worse than all the debates you've had today about, like, as a religious guy, you saying that you're not religious doesn't offend me, but you saying you haven't seen Interstellar, that kind of makes me need to go to, like,
hey, I saw the Odyssey. I don't know if that makes a difference, but yeah, I unfortunately, argumentum ad Interstellar isn't going to do a whole lot for me.
All right.
Anything else?
Well, no, I failed on that one. I'll give you that.
All right. Well, hey, if you do some actual research, what I recommend is looking up some physicists. There's like Aaron Adair, or Dr. Blitz is a really good one, or who's some other good physics communicators? Of course, now my mind is going blank. Sean Carroll is another good one that comes to mind. There's this idiot Sober.
I heard that what's his name? Antonio Brown has been doing some pretty good like philosophical stuff lately.
I have no idea who that is. Sober, who are good physics communicators other than yourself?
Sean Carroll, Brian Cox, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
There you go.
Me, Quantanaut, Blitz.
Quantanaut, yeah, that's another one.
But I do need to head out. You're lucky I need to head out. I was gonna unleash my rage that you haven't seen Interstellar, but I'll
Go away. I don't need all that BS. All right. Well, yeah, I definitely recommend looking into those, not because I think that you need to, like, I would assume that probably most, if not all of those people that were mentioned are atheists. And I'm not saying to look into them because they're atheists or because they'll convince you to be an atheist, but more because they present real physics content and it can give you a better understanding of the physics behind these things that you want to discuss.
Well, I hope that we can at least have one agreement before I go.
Uh-oh.
This goes for all religions, not just Christianity.
You got me real worried here.
Do you agree that faith can help somebody in dark times? Because having hope in something and having a feeling of love, even if you don't know if it's real or not, that hope of love could guide you through a dark hallway.
The only situation that I would say where somebody is justified in having faith is a situation where, like, they literally have nothing else. Like, if you're like chained up in a serial killer's basement and they're going to torture you for the next 6 months before they finally kill you, in that situation, sure. Yes. I think that would be, I wouldn't begrudge someone having a faith-based position. And in almost any other situation, no. Fuck that. Get out of here. Faith is poison.
That it might be a minor agreement, but I'll take it. That's
fair. Well, I'm glad that's good enough. I appreciate you, Jeremy, and I hope that you come back with a really strong argument. And next time will be when you convert me. All right.
Third time's the try. Have
all
a
right.
good night,
Take care. Argumentum ad Interstellar. All right. If you are in the guest queue, or if you're thinking about requesting, make sure that you're 18 plus and that you have some kind of argument or evidence that will provide justification for your God belief. Okay. Faith absolutely is poison. It's probably the most toxic thing in the history of humanity. I think so, Stephen Mathematics. I think you should make them public. Yeah, Dragoon. Lies make people feel good sometimes. Doesn't mean you should believe in them. All right. Well, it doesn't seem like SMD is connecting. All right. Well, I definitely get that, Stephen Mathematics, but don't let perfection be the enemy of good. Right? Thank you so much for the support, everybody. I don't even know where we were. Thank you to Lem, Zo Music, 3 Pips, Nick, 3 Pips again, Disco Tits 420, Dan Blackroyd. I got Peas. Thank you so much. Goatman, Lem, and of course DJ Randy. Sincerely appreciate all you guys for the support. Okay. All right. Nice swordsman. How old are you?
19.
And what version of God do you believe in?
Okay, what is your argument for God is not real?
What version of God do you believe in? I need you to stop all the shuffling and
Jesus Christ, the Father, Jesus Christ, the Father, and the Spirit.
Okay, and what's the best argument?
Holy
Okay, I
Spirit.
need you to stop with the rubbing your phone or your mic on whatever you're rubbing it on, please.
Okay.
Okay, what's the best argument or evidence that will provide rational justification to believe in a God?
Okay, you are saying about that in space there is gravity or not, okay? You are saying that it's not something like there.
What?
You don't know what is up there.
What? Can you just give the argument for God? You don't need
In
to
the space.
Yeah, you don't need to go back over some other conversation
saying
with somebody
that.
else. Just give me the argument for God, please.
For God.
Yeah.
Okay.
You talked
Do
all
you
this. You
know
talked this
what
whole
is
big
up
game in
there
the comments.
Wait. I need to close that. Okay. I need to
Just give me the
give
argument
you
for God.
about that. This is the argument. I want to start. You will
just give the argument.
The argument.
Do
Up is water.
do.
There is no sky. Okay.
There's no sky.
There is no space. There is no space.
There's no space. You're gonna start premise 1. There's no space. What's the argument for that?
There is water.
What's the argument that there's no space?
You can check it.
Yeah, you can check it. Well, there is space. Argument, you can check it.
God created waters.
Okay, so what's the argument there's no space?
Down and up.
What's the argument that there's no space?
There is no space.
Yeah, what's the argument for that?
The space you are waiting, there's...
Okay, so I'm going to ask you one more time, Swordsman. What's the argument that there's no space?
You need to really check it up. with something technology.
So that means you don't have an argument, right?
Sound. You can record that sound. And you can check it.
Right. At a certain, I mean, it was funny, but at a certain point, it starts to feel like ableism, and I'm not really a fan of that. Yeah, he was definitely wearing his tinfoil hat. Something. The sky is fake. Oh, don't believe in the lies from Big Sky. All right. I know, that's what I was thinking, Danger Bread. He talked so much bullshit in the comments, and then he came up and that was what he had. All he had was the claim that there's no space. Unbelievable. Oh, there's only the waters above, obviously. All right. If you are in the guest queue, or if you're thinking about joining, make sure that you are an adult and you have some kind of argument or evidence that would provide justification to believe in a God. I can't get no space. No space. There's no space, guys. There's no space. Okay. There's no space. God created water. Got it. All right. Hi, Snow. How old are you?
38.
Cool. And what version of God do you believe in?
Yahweh.
Okay. And then what would you say is the best argument or evidence that would provide justification to believe in a God?
Because there is no grass.
I mean,
because I've never touched it.
I kind of think that there is grass. Because I have touched
I've
it.
never touched it. Because there is no grass. I've never touched it.
But I've touched it because there is grass. So now what do we do?
I don't know. What do we do? I mean,
Okay.
there's no space because.
Well, obviously the only thing that I
I'm-
can do is run away in fear and then pretend that I beat you. So I'm just going to do that now.
Oh, W to me, W to me.
Don't let Snow Ghost Customs tell you that I ran away. Unbelievable. All right. If you Oh, there's nothing scarier than no grass. All right. If you're in the guest queue or thinking about joining, make sure that you are an adult and you have some kind of argument or evidence that will provide rational justification for your God belief. How's it feel to lose? Indeed. I'll never know because I'll never lose. Okay, fair enough. All right, well, currently don't have anybody requesting. The reason I didn't bring you up, TJ, is because you're a bigoted piece of shit. So, just FYI. Hi, Nick. How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm hanging in there.
Nice. So I actually had a question. I've been thinking recently. I remember a while ago I heard somebody mention something about like atemporal causation. I wanted to know what you thought about that.
I have no idea what atemporal causation would be. Whatever causation is, it seems to be a relationship between things in space and time.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what atemporal causation would be.
Okay. Because I remember we spoke, I think the last time, you were talking about two like caps, probably possible caps on the end of the universe.
Yeah.
Without like a technical like start or ending moment. And I would think that if like atemporal causation was a thing, that would be it, I guess.
Well, so it's that there would be a first and last moment if there were those Hartle-Hawking caps. So it would be like a Hartle-Hawking cap, right? Like a shuttlecock head.
Yeah.
You know, okay, so you got the cock head, and then it goes from this purely spatial, it would be a purely spatial region of space, right?
Yeah.
A region of the universe. And then from that, out of that geometry comes the universe. But I would think of it in like a purely spatial, purely geometric thing. That's my understanding. So it's more like you could consider it a change from the atemporal portion to the temporal portion, but not that there was a change in the atemporal portion. I think of it kind of like, well, the example that I give of spatial change as opposed to temporal change is like a highway, right? Like there's a highway that they just, well, up until recently, it was a 2-lane from one town until you got, a couple towns over, and then it turned into a 4-lane to get to the big city down the road. And so that, when it went from being 2-lane to 4-lane, that would be an atemporal change because obviously it exists in those states during its entire existence, or well, during that period of its existence until they extended the 4-lane part. But so that would be what I would think of as like a spatial change and not a temporal change. But I don't know how you could have. So I think you can have that kind of change, but I don't think you can have that kind of causation.
Oh, okay. Maybe I had it like worded wrong. I don't remember if that was the correct wording, but.
Well, and it's also possible that I'm, I could have, misrepresented the position anyway. So I mean, that's always possible.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I really had a question on. Thank you.
All right. Fair enough. Appreciate you, man. Take care. All right. So if you are 18 plus and you have some kind of argument or evidence that will provide rational justification to believe in a God, then feel free to come up. I mean, obviously, Zomusic, obviously, we all know that the real creator of the universe is Eunice, the universe farting unicorn. Clearly. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt about that. All rational people know. Thank you so much for the support, everybody. I'm not sure where exactly we were, but thank you, Zo Music, Manny, Laura, Sir Piffington. Sincerely appreciate it. And oh well, he left. Okay. TJ Boomin, if you're still here, just know, now that I'm aware of what a bigoted piece of shit you are, I'm not bringing you back up. Like, just so you know. I was informed of the kind of person you are and the way you conduct yourself in other people's spaces, and I'm not going to platform you here. We don't do that. We don't play those fucking games. You want to say transphobic and homophobic shit? I mean, you can do that, but then you're not going to be the kind of person that I want to interact with and platform. All right. So currently don't have anybody requesting. If you would like to follow or support, here's some info on that. Obviously, no one's obligated to follow me or support me in any way. Not trying to convince you to do that, just letting you know the options in case it's something you're so inclined to do. I do have the YouTube, which is just youtube.com/@OgarDebates. I've got the Discord, tinyurl.com/OgarDebates. Feel free to join. And of course, if you feel so inclined, you can go to my PayPal or Venmo and support. But again, not telling anyone to do that. Certainly not trying to make you do that. Just letting you know the option is there, in case you felt so inclined. But yeah, if you are in the guest queue or thinking about joining, make sure that you're an adult and you have some kind of argument or evidence that would provide justification to believe in a God. Thanks, Obelisk. Hi, Trippy. How old are you?
Yo, I'm 18.
And what version of God do you believe in?
Jesus, Christianity.
Right. And then what would you say is the best argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in a God?
Okay, so first off, I would like to say that I believe that contingent reality, like, it requires an explanation for its existence. Do you agree with that?
What do you mean by contingent reality?
Like, basically, dependent things requires a cause.
Okay, so we are saying that things that are ontologically dependent on other things need the thing that they're dependent on?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not talking about so we're talking about contingency in terms of dependence, not in terms of could fail to exist.
I believe so. I don't know. I got tripped up by that.
So, in strict philosophy, and I'm not saying that you need to be using it this way. I'm just trying to make sure that I understand what you're saying, because these words get used in different ways, and that's not your fault. But in strict philosophy or academic philosophy, the words necessary and contingent have to do, necessary means couldn't fail to exist. Contingent means can fail to exist. Okay. So, but then a lot of times people use the word contingent in these arguments where they actually just mean dependent. Like you could say, this table is dependent on the tree that the wood came from. But that doesn't have anything to do with whether it's necessary, its existence is necessary or contingent in the
I do believe that the universe is both contingent and dependent, but I'll just so my argument is basically dependent things requires a cause, and so whatever is dependent for its existence, it needs a cause to ground its existence. And I believe the universe is dependent.
Sure. What's the argument?
The cause will be God.
Yeah. What's the argument that the universe is dependent on something?
So because the universe is kind of made up of different parts that are dependent on other things. The universe itself, we have certain rules, explained through theories general relativity, the laws of thermodynamics and stuff like that. So I believe because it's made up of the whole is made up of different parts that are dependent on things to be a specific way. That means that it as a whole it is dependent, and the cause would be God.
So my response to this is just the priority monist view. So my perspective is that the whole of the universe is the one fundamental thing that has independent existence, and then the parts of the universe are dependent on the whole. So I agree that the parts of the universe are dependent on things, but I think that the
Mhm.
all thing that they're all ultimately dependent on is the whole of the universe itself, and that isn't dependent on anything. So I would need some kind of argument for why I should think that the whole of the universe is dependent on something.
Wait, actually, could I ask you why you believe that? Like, why it as a whole is dependent? I mean, it's not dependent.
That's just the best what the evidence seems to point to that I'm aware of, right? As far as I can tell,
Wait, okay.
as far as
What
I can,
evidence?
I'm sorry.
What evidence?
Yeah, just the way that physics works, right? Like quantum field theory is going to tell us that like everything depends on those quantum fields, and those quantum fields for their existence depend on the manifold that bears them. And so it seems that that whole thing, that whole system, the manifold, then the quantum fields that it bears, seems like that is the fundamental thing. Now, is it possible that there's some other more fundamental thing? Sure, epistemically at least. It's definitely epistemically possible and probably logically possible. I don't know where I would stand in terms of, physical possibility or metaphysical possibility. But as far as I can tell, that seems to be the best explanation that I currently have access to. Now, I could be wrong, but as far as I can tell, that seems to be what the universe is. And then I would say that because the universe seems to have modally, logically necessary existence, I don't think that I don't think it makes any sense to talk about the explanation for the universe's existence, because as far as I can tell, it couldn't have failed to exist. And so trying to posit some explanation is just going to...
Wait, you don't believe... Oh, so you don't believe it's contingent then?
Right. I don't think that the universe is contingent or dependent.
Wait, but... Wait. But like... So you, but I mean, there isn't like a definitive like answer for why like it came to be. Well, there is like an answer with like it imploding on itself.
No, I don't
Like
think the universe came into existence.
Wait, what?
I pretty firmly take the stance that the universe always existed, and by always I mean in all states of existence. I don't know whether the timeline is infinite, but I don't think that there was ever a state of existence where the universe didn't exist. I don't think that's possible.
So, what are your thoughts on the Big Bang?
I think that it's the best. It's currently the best explanation we have for the expansion of the universe. I don't think it has anything to do with the universe having a beginning. In fact, science tells us, the scientists tell us, that the Big Bang has nothing to do with whether the universe had a beginning.
But wait, unless I'm wrong, the Big Bang kind of conjured the start of the universe, correct? Or no? Am I wrong on that?
That's what I'm saying is not correct. So there was a survey.
You believe it's not correct.
No, I'm saying that scientists tell us it's not correct. So there was a survey that came out earlier this year. It's actually the largest survey of physicists and cosmologists in history, and they got over 1,600, almost 1,700 respondents to this question about the Big Bang. The Big Bang has been well established by the observation of galaxies, of the abundance of light elements, and of the cosmic microwave background. But what is not agreed upon is what we actually mean by the expression Big Bang. Should it be taken to refer to a singularity of infinite density and pressure, a universe that had a definite start, or just a hot, dense state from which everything evolved? If, in your opinion, what does Big Bang imply? And the responses from these almost 1,700 physicists and cosmologists was overwhelmingly, as you can see, about 70%, a large majority of the respondents said that the Big Bang should be understood as a theory that says the universe evolves from a hot, dense state, that says nothing about whether there was an absolute beginning of time or not. So according to the current understanding of scientists who study this, we should not think that the Big Bang says something about the beginning. We should just think that the Big Bang only tells us about the expansion.
But the universe is made up of not just like space-time. There's matter, there's energy, there's all that, right?
What does that have to do with anything I said?
Well, because it says that like at the end there, if you could pull it up, maybe I'm mistaken. It said it's not indicative of like time's like beginning or whatever. Is that what?
Right. A Big Bang is a theory that says the universe evolves from a hot, dense state, that says nothing about whether there was an absolute beginning of time or not. So it doesn't. So it doesn't tell us whether things came into existence or not. If things did come into existence, we would need to have a different reason to come to that conclusion. The Big Bang wouldn't get us there. I'm not saying the Big Bang proves the universe always existed. I'm saying that we can't use the Big Bang to determine whether or not the universe always existed.
Okay, so yeah, I agree. We cannot use the Big Bang to determine whether the universe like didn't always exist, right?
Right. We can't use it to say that there was a beginning, and we can't use it to say there wasn't a beginning. You were trying to use it to say that there was a beginning, and I was correcting it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what
I
was
was
gonna say.
never
Sorry, I got
using it.
tripped.
I was never using it to support my position. I was simply saying that you can't use it to support your position.
But the thing is, I can though, because the survey doesn't like negate out like years of studies and like
No,
you know
it
like
does. It does though.
scientifically derived data.
It
No, it
does
doesn't,
though.
because
It says
that's
this
just
is the
one
current.
survey.
It says this is
That's
the
just one
current
survey.
of all of the current physicists and cosmologists who study this. The survey
Wait,
tells us that
wait, what's the like where'd you get that from?
yeah.
Like
So you can look up Phil Halper, and then I always forget Phil Halper survey of cosmologists. So he did 2 of these. There was a small one done on at a conference in Copenhagen. That was a smaller one. They had less than 100 respondents on that one. And so then they did the much bigger one, and that was for why can I never remember what magazine published it? No. No. Okay. Why can I never remember what magazine published this fucking survey? It was Phil Halper. Largest ever survey is released shows a distinct lack of consensus among many important questions. DESI data, that wasn't on the outcome. Standard answers in fundamental physics command overwhelming support, with the most falling short of a majority. So Nayesh Ashforty and Phil Halper led the study. Oh, is this it here? Okay. So the study is called Big Mystery Survey, Physicists' Views on Cosmology, Black Holes, Quantum Mechanics, and Quantum Gravity by Nayesh Afshorty, Phil Halper, Matteo Rini, and Michael Scherber.
Okay, and what was the pool of respondents? Like how many people were like responded to it?
1,675 to that question. I remember that.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that was how many respondents they got. Was 1,675.
Okay. And even like
Physics Magazine is what it was published in.
Okay. Well, I don't think that that answer was trying to say that like, oh, then you cannot use the Big Bang as like, you know, a definitive proof of how the universe came to be. I think that
No,
was
that
just
is exactly
explaining
what it said. That is exactly explicitly what it said.
Because of at the end with what it says in relation to time, it says that it's not proof of like time itself.
Yeah,
the
about whether
beginning of time or not.
It says nothing about whether there was a beginning or not. So the Big Bang cannot.
Absolute beginning
Trippy,
of
stop.
time.
Trippy, stop. The whole
Okay,
point.
my bad.
The whole point is that the current scientific consensus about the Big Bang is that it tells us nothing about whether there was a beginning or not. So if we want to talk about whether there was a beginning or not, we cannot use the Big Bang as evidence in that conversation. So is there any evidence that would lead us to believe the universe had a beginning?
Okay, but here's the thing. One more point on it.
No, we're not talking about it anymore, Trippy. I'm not doing this. You're not gonna. No, we're not talking about it anymore. I'm done.
Okay.
So,
Okay,
is there any reason to believe the universe had a beginning?
Well, I mean, if I can't use the Big Bang,
Right, because
then
the current understanding of the Big Bang is that it doesn't give us a reason to believe in a beginning.
that's not the
So
current-
it's
that's
not.
not-
Yes, it is, Trippy. Okay, here's how we can keep talking
That's
about
one
it.
survey. That's
Yes.
one survey.
So give me a better survey, a more recent survey with more respondents.
Well, I can't obviously conjure up a different survey because I'm using years of education to back me up. That's
Yeah,
one
because you're
survey.
wrong. You think,
That doesn't mean
Trippy,
I'm wrong.
Trippy, you think as an 18-year-old, your quote-unquote years of understanding trumps the understanding of people who have been working on this as their living?
Okay, obviously not. but, like,
Okay,
what I'm trying to
fantastic.
say
So
is
your position on it doesn't trump their position, right?
there's no way it could. No.
Right. And in fact, the position of the people who are educated on this trumps both you and my positions, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, 100%. And since the position of the people who are educated on it is that we can't use it as evidence for a beginning or non-beginning, then that means that neither of us can override that, right?
Okay.
Okay,
Sure.
fantastic. Since neither of us can override the current physics community's understanding that the Big Bang is not evidence for a beginning, what is evidence for a beginning?
Okay. I'm not sure I could think of. I was under the, you know, like understanding that the Big Bang was evidence of the beginning, but I don't really like know any other
Okay, so do you have anything
stuff
else
for
since you
that.
don't have a reason to believe the universe had a beginning?
Well, we can like kind of revert back to like the God conversation. I guess like I could just pivot since we can
Yeah,
use
what argument
the
would
whole
you like to
like
discuss?
universe. Okay, so I'd like to discuss how like this wasn't my original argument, so I hope I don't mess this up. I'd like to discuss how like the earth itself is evidence of God.
How so?
So like because like just think of the earth like as is, like it sits at kind of like the intersection of a lot of different like independent conditions, you know, like how like the magnetic field, the moon placement, the sun placement, you
And
know,
what do you think
like
is the likelihood that a planet would have those conditions?
I think it's pretty low, no, because this is like the only like kind of registered
Yeah, but
well,
like how what do you think the odds are?
I think it's low. I think
Like
like
one in how
less
many?
than 1%.
Okay, so
Probably.
maybe like 0.1%?
Sure. I feel like you're about to do a gotcha, but sure.
Well, okay, let's imagine that it's 0.1%.
Right.
Okay. So that means that out of every 1,000 planets, there's one planet that has all those conditions, right?
I mean, the reason why I don't want to like agree to that is because I don't know if there's data that straight up just like
Well, do you want to make
negates
it
that.
you want to make it 1 in 10,000? 1 in a million?
Okay, let's use 1 in a million, sure.
Okay. So out of every million planets, there's one planet that has all those conditions, right?
Sure, okay.
Okay. So then that means that the number of planets that have all those conditions in the observable universe is 1 times 10 to the 18th power.
Okay.
So it's a 1 with 18 zeros after it before the decimal. That's how many planets there are that meet those conditions. Is that unlikely? Sure. But does that mean that we should think that that it's wild that one exists or that we're on one? Absolutely not.
Okay, but
not when
I
there
think
are
that-
like I don't even know like what is the number what is the number with
Okay, but I'm going off
18
like verifiable
zeros?
science though.
I guess I am too. A quintillion. Okay, so that means that there are a quintillion planets that have the conditions that you're talking about. So if there
Well,
are
the
one
thing is, we
quintillion
cannot-
of them, then that doesn't
no,
mean
we
that we
can't
should
prove that.
That means that we shouldn't
No,
be
we can't.
surprised.
We can't prove that though. That's why I didn't want to do that.
What do you
because I
mean you
think
can't
I was-
prove it?
We can't prove it because I knew you were gonna do that gotcha, but it's like we can't like science has
You're saying it's unlikely. If we care about it being unlikely, then we need to examine what are the entailments of it being unlikely. Well, if we say that it's 1 in a billion chance, 1 in 100 billion chance, that still means that there's going to be trillions and quadrillions of planets that meet those conditions. So there's no reason for us to think, even though it's really, really unlikely, there's no reason for us to think it's surprising that it happened.
I think there is reason to prove even with
Okay,
that.
what's
there's
the
still,
reason
like,
to think that
reason
it's
prove
surprising?
Because of the fact that there's such a low chance and it happened the way it
I
did.
just showed
think
you.
So.
I just showed you why the low chance doesn't
Well,
matter.
But that's not proof though. No, but like that's why I didn't
What do you
want to
mean?
do it because
What do you
that's not proof.
What do you mean it's not proof? What are you even
Because
saying?
okay, what I mean by that is because like, you know, you're basically trying to say that, oh, even though there's a low chance because of how vast the universe is, there's obviously reasoning enough that, okay, there are other planets that support life. And that's why I didn't want to go there, because I'm trying to say that, okay, we're speaking directly about like what we've observed so far, like science, what science has shown us so far. And what science has shown is that Earth itself, like within our observable universe, like the way it supports life, that's something that was that's something that, like, it's a very low chance. Like
It doesn't matter. I just explained to you, Trippy, that it's okay that it's a very low chance. Okay, I'm going to give you a demonstration that I've given a bunch of times.
Okay,
I have
go for it.
I have a deck of cards here, right?
Okay.
Watch this.
Okay.
Oh shit! I can't even shuffle without looking. Apparently. Okay, I'm going to give this some shuffles, right?
Okay.
Okay. So, do you know how many different arrangements there are of a deck of cards?
I do not. I don't gamble.
Okay. So, the number is 52 factorial, which means 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5 all the way up to 52. The number of different arrangements of a deck of cards is bigger than the number of atoms in the observable universe. That's how insanely unlikely any specific order of cards is, okay?
Right.
Now, you just watched me shuffle this deck. Was there any intention that went into creating the order that it's in now?
No.
Right. But look, it's in an order that is so unlikely that the number is bigger than either you or I could ever fathom. But it still ended up in that order. And you know why it ended up in that order, even though it's that insanely unlikely and there was no intention behind it? Because it had to be in some order. And when you have so many chances, you shouldn't be surprised that sometimes you hit unlikely things. But what's going to happen again? I just put the deck in an order that is like unfathomably unlikely to happen. And you know what? Even though it's that unfathomably unlikely, this one is equally unlikely, and I created it also. Without any intention, without needing any guiding force behind it. And the reason that that happens is because it had to be in some order if it exists. So if there are planets, they have to have some characteristics, right? They have to exist in some way. And because there are lots and lots and lots of planets, some of them are going to have unlikely characteristics. And so it's not surprising that we find planets that have an unlikely conjunction of characteristics. And or the only way that it could be unlikely. Now imagine if I had written down a list of 52 cards that looks completely random, and then I hand you the deck and you shuffle it, and then it's in that exact order. That would be surprising. That would require an explanation, because that was predicted. That was intended ahead of time. If you could show that it was intentional for the planet to be this way, then it would be surprising that it was intended to be that way and it turned out that way. But that would just be assuming that God exists, which is the whole thing you're supposed to be proving.
Okay. That made sense. That did make sense. That's why the Big Bang argument was so crucial. I'm gonna have to research the Big Bang thing, because I still believed it, like, it had to be a cause. But yeah, that's all I had. I don't really have anything else.
All right. Well, I appreciate the conversation. Well, I mean, the other thing that I could do is I can run an argument.
Okay.
I mean, you're good faith, so I mean, we can at least try it.
Okay.
Do you have an account of causation?
What do you mean?
Like, do you have like an explanation of what you think causation is?
I think, like, if something is dependent, then there's a cause. That's my explanation. Causation.
Well, what I mean is, like, I take causation to be a spatiotemporal relationship. Like, if X causes Y, that means that X and Y stand in some spatial and temporal relationship with each other. Right?
Okay.
Like, if I hit a cue ball on a pool table, but the rest of the balls aren't put on the table until tomorrow, well, there's no way that the cue ball is actually going to hit any of them, right? Because it's not at the right time. Or if I'm in a bar that has a whole bunch of pool tables and I hit the cue ball on the table all the way at the left side of the room, well, that's not going to cause the balls on the table all the way on the right side of the room to move, right? Because it's not in the right spatial location. Okay. So do we agree that causation is a relationship between two objects or events in space-time?
Yes.
Fantastic. So that means all causes are inside space and time, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Cool.
Are you going to say that there's a cause for God?
Nope.
Are you going with that?
No,
Okay.
no. Nothing that silly, but almost. So what I'm going to say is that if God exists, God caused the universe to come into existence, and I think that you probably already see where this is going. If God caused the universe to come into existence, then that means he caused space and time to come into existence. But if he caused space and time to come into existence, then that means that he's outside space and time. But if he's outside space and time, and we know that all causes are inside space and time, then he can't be a cause, which means he didn't cause the universe to come into existence. But as we said, if he exists, he did cause the universe to come into existence. So that means that because causation is something God can't do, but would have to do, that means God can't possibly exist.
But would causation also, like, entail dependency? Do you follow what I'm saying?
I mean, maybe, but we've just demonstrated that God can't possibly exist, so I don't know why it would matter.
I mean, you demonstrate. I didn't necessarily subscribe to it, but I get what you're saying. That's why I came. That's why I followed with that by saying that causation entails dependency, and like for God, there would have to be like an exception in regards to Him,
Right. That's just
because
special pleading then.
yeah, that's why like yeah.
Because then you're just saying, well, I don't like how this applies to God, so I'm just gonna
No,
plug my
I'm not
ears
saying
and say,
that.
no, 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 it doesn't work.
I'm not saying that. I'm just like following like what kind of like the general consensus in relation to God has been throughout, like, I guess, ontology, like that he's
well, what I'm
kind of
saying,
like above space time and stuff like that.
right? But what I'm saying is that if that's true, and it's also true that causation is a spatiotemporal relationship, then that just means that it is true that God can't be a cause of anything. If he's outside space and time, but all causes are inside space and time, then he can't be a cause. And if he exists, he is a cause, therefore he doesn't exist. So I mean, I could put the argument up on the screen here. I don't know if you have any response to it. But again, premise 1, all causes are inside space and time. Premise 2, if God exists, God caused the universe to come into existence. Premise 3, if he caused the universe to come into existence, then he caused space and time to come into existence. If he caused space and time to come into existence, he's outside space and time. But if he's outside space and time and all causes are inside space and time, he can't be a cause and didn't cause the universe to come into existence. Therefore, God doesn't exist. If you want, I can give you the inference rule even.
Yeah, what's the inference rule?
That's the inference rule right there.
Gee.
So we're saying,
can I sit with this for like a minute? Can I sit with this for like a minute? And let me see. God. Well, I guess that, yeah, I would have to concede to special pleading because, I mean, yeah, I kind of just believe that this wouldn't necessarily apply to God. But yeah, that's just where I stand with that.
Okay.
But I do get the argument.
All right. Well, I appreciate the conversation. I think we've kind of gone as far as we can, but maybe if you come up with a good argument, do some research, and want to convert me some other time, I'll be happy to talk with you.
All right. Thank you, man.
Thank you. Take care. Hey, look at that. All right. Well, that was a good conversation. Easily the best one of the night, in my opinion. Thank you so much, Kimchi, for the kitty paws, and thank you so much to Poopman Jones for the hat and mustache. Thank you also, Ayakabina and Discordant Rhyme, Absurdism. Thank you for the support. Eddie, someone else, 869, I don't know, but I thank you for the support. Lem, thank you. Sir Piffington, Laura, Doc Nancy, thank you very, very much, everybody. Do I have any degrees? No, I do not have any degrees. Unless you mean 98 degrees. The odds of a life-permitting planet is 0.4. Oof. Well, I gave him 1 in a billion, and I think that was... hey, thanks, Ayakabina, for the hat and mustache. Okay. If you are in the guest queue or thinking about joining, make sure that you're an adult and you have some kind of argument or evidence that will provide rational justification to believe in a God. What's my IQ? Hey, thanks. What is this? Desolate Dr. Jones. Thank you so much for the Pharaoh mask. My IQ, I don't know, man. When I've taken IQ tests in the past, it's like 135-ish. Nothing crazy. All right. Did I just... Okay. All right. If you are in the guest queue or thinking about joining, make sure that you're 18 plus and have some kind of argument or evidence that will provide justification for your God belief. You know, IQ isn't relative to age, right? All right. Fair enough. Trey, how old are you?
18, sir.
And when were you born?
2008.
What would you? What God do you believe in?
I believe in a classical theistic God.
And what would you say is the best argument or evidence that would provide justification to believe in a God?
Yeah. Have you heard of the meteorological contingency argument?
All right. Yeah. All right. That sounds like a kid. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know. I've been told before that I'm not good at judging, but when other people start saying it, I have to take it seriously. I don't know. I can never tell. I'm really bad at telling. What just happened was I have reason to believe, based on people in the chat, that was a child, and I'm not here to talk to children. It's really hard for me to tell. Well, I'm not debating children, so maybe in like 5-6 years you can come back. Give me one sec. Okay. All right, if you're in the guest queue or thinking about joining, make sure that you're 18 plus and you have some kind of argument or evidence that will provide rational justification for your God belief. Hi, how old are you?
Hey, my friend, I'm over 50. I have
what God do you believe in?
The Creator, the God from the Bible, Holy Bible.
Okay, the Christian God?
Yes.
Why couldn't you say that the last 2 times you came up?
Because I didn't understand what you were asking me. So now, because you wanted a specific answer, and I'm not sure which one it was. But yeah, the Creator, the Bible, God, Yahweh in the Bible.
Last time you were here, you didn't know you believed in the Christian God?
No, you didn't let me answer. You must have had a bad host right before me. I mean, a guest right before me, because you just kicked me off. I'm like, whoa, what happened?
Yeah, you've been here twice, and both times you wouldn't tell me what God you believed in, so I was just curious why you were able to do it this time. Yeah, anyway, what would you say is the best argument or evidence that would give us reason to believe in a God?
Perfect. I'm an experimental physicist. I am a master of the vortex theory of atomic particles.
Okay, I don't care about any of this. What is the reason to believe in a God?
Because space is not empty. It's made of a substance. It's a multidimensional substance. Okay? And this substance we can measure as energy.
What's the support? What's the support?
E equals mc squared equals hf
No,
equals
no. No, we're not
What
doing
do you want?
formulas. We're not doing formulas. I'm not going to play into your LARP. What is the actual evidence? No, what is the actual evidence? So give me the name of a peer-reviewed. Give me the name of a peer-reviewed paper and the journal it was published in that supports your conclusion that energy is a substance. Or excuse me, that space is a substance.
I can do that. I can give you 43 of them. Here's the first one. The St. Petersburg State University experiment that discovered the photon acceleration.
No. Title of the paper.
What are you talking about, bro? That's the first one.
Title of the paper.
I gave you the title. Okay?
What's the title?
The St. Petersburg experiment that discovered the photon acceleration effect.
This does not sound like the title. This does not sound like
Harvard, it's in Yale, it's everywhere. I just gave it to you,
presentation, sharing, This is not a paper. This is not what magazine was this published in? What magazine was this published in? What magazine was this published in?
The Harvard, the American Physical Society.
American Physical Society. When was it? Yes. When was it published in? What month and year was it published in the American Physical Society?
There's a couple of them.
What month and year?
2006, 2007, 2005.
American Representation. I'm seeing something about a speech that was given, but I don't see anything about a published paper.
What did you find? Did you find who's the authors?
K.A. Gridnev, R.G. Moon, V.V. Vasilyev.
Amen. That's it. Now
you
got the
and so
authors.
that's not a paper.
Now look up R.J. Moon and K. Gridnev, who is the head of the nuclear physics department in St. Peter's State University. We're talking about big dog here. And now look at the other papers that are published. Okay, this is real science. It destroys quantum mechanics, string theory, and relativity.
Okay, so what I need you to do,
No, you don't have to do anything.
so there
You
is
don't-
no paper.
don't
So what
believe
you
me,
need to do
brother.
is actually
You're
give me the
always-
name of the paper and the publication it was published in.
I'll give you a better one. I'll give you the website. You can take a look at all the
No,
papers.
give me the name of
vortextheory.com.
the paper and the magazine or the publication it was published in.
Okay, well.
So I
how
haven't
many-
heard
which one do you
anything yet.
want? Okay, how about this one? The explanation of the Pauli exclusion principle. And type in RGMU, you'll find it. Here's another one, the wow particle. That one is a new particle that's been that hasn't been discovered yet. Here's another one. You found it, huh? Ha!
No, I
You
didn't.
know I'm not lying, huh?
I
This
don't
is
know that at
destroying
all.
atheist- Okay, let me give you some more.
It's no,
Let me go find my computer.
but this isn't a paper. This is also not a paper. So I still haven't. So I'm still waiting for you to give me the first paper. So far we're at 0 for 2.
Oh, so but you're finding them, aren't you?
No, I'm not. If I had found them, then we would not be 0 for 2.
No,
So
not
I just
lying,
need the
right?
title. I need the title of the paper and the publication it was published in.
Sure, I'll give you one. I'm gonna look it up first before I give it to you. That way you can't please talk smack. Science doesn't lie, my brother. Men do.
But you clearly do.
I gave you the papers. You found them.
I haven't. I haven't found a single one of the papers. The papers that you've mentioned because they're not papers. One of them was a presentation that wasn't a paper. Anybody can give a presentation on anything. That doesn't mean anything. So I've been waiting for a paper. And then the second thing you gave, also not a paper. So far you've lied at least twice. I'm gonna guess that you've lied more times than that in this conversation.
Here's a good one. Let me see. References. Let's see. How about this one? The explanation of the photons, electric and magnetic fields.
What's the publication?
Yeah, if you look it up, you'll see it.
What's the name of the magazine it was published in?
Is the American the American Physical Society has that.
American Physical
That way you can't
Society.
say it's not.
So we'll look up the American Physical Society and go to
that's
their
the physics of the United
website.
States
And
of
then what's
America,
the
brother.
title? What's the title
Yes,
of the paper?
right. Look it up. Look it up. The explanation of the photons, electric and magnetic fields.
The explanation of the photons, electric, and magnetic fields.
You found it, right?
I'm confirming if that's what I'm supposed to be looking for. Is that the title of the paper?
Yeah. Who's the authors?
I'm just asking you if that's the title of the paper, dude.
Brother, please don't play with me. Who's the authors? Don't play with me.
I
Who's
haven't
the author?
searched it yet because I'm trying to confirm that that is the title of the paper you're directing me to.
Okay, so you're just fishing. All
Is
right, let
that
me
the
give it
title
to
of the paper? The explanation of the photons, electric, and magnetic fields? Yes or no?
Brother, I said yes. What is your issue?
Okay.
Physics doesn't lie. Men do like you.
So no. Sort by relevance, and there's absolutely nothing that comes up from American Physical Society that has anything to do with this. Weird. Huh.
Yeah, well, let me show you.
Well,
I'm pulling it up right now.
If you turn your camera on, I'm dropping you.
No, I'm not turning my camera on.
Okay, well, I just looked it up on the American Physical Society, and there was nothing.
Here it is, Harvard University. The explanation of the photons, electric, and magnetic fields using the principles of the work. Look it up, brother.
So you
Look
told
it
me it was published.
I'm gonna tell you exactly what it looked
You
up,
told
okay?
me that the publication it was published in was the American Physical Society. Did you lie?
No, there's different ones. There's 43 papers.
So name the publication.
think?
Name the publication.
Okay. USAD Labs, Harvard Education, Harvard University.
Name the name of the magazine, the name of the publication,
Listen, brother.
any
Type
actual
in
scientific
don't be ignorant,
paper,
don't be ignorant.
any
The
actual scientific
explanation- okay.
paper, any
Let me
actual,
speak, my
excuse me,
brother. Don't
any
run.
actual
Don't run.
scientific paper will tell you what publication it was published in. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to tell me the name of the publication.
Listen, don't run. Don't be scared. The
Yeah, I'm the
explanation
you.
of
Yeah,
the
I'm definitely the
photon-
one running.
Okay, let me speak,
No,
bro.
tell me the
How
name
can
of
I
the
give you
publication.
information?
I don't know.
Well, let me
Okay,
speak.
here's the thing, Forever Cell. If you what are you like a physicist or something, Lucas?
Yeah,
What
I'm
is
an
happening?
experimental physicist.
No, not you. You're lying.
No, I'm not. I'm not. Man, you're talking to a real deal here, brother.
Uh-huh.
Okay? Let's get that going.
I'm just trying to figure out if this person that's asking to come up actually has some credentials or something.
Yeah, look at
Okay,
this.
so I just need you to tell me the name of the publication.
Okay. It's ads from Harvard.
So tell me
.edu.
tell me the name of the publication.
I just gave it
Okay,
to you, my friend.
I'm going to ask you one more
You
time.
know,
I'm going to ask you one more time for the name of a publication that has a paper relevant to your claims. If your answer, if the next thing that you say is anything other than the name of a publication, then I'm going to take it as a concession that you know that you don't have anything. So for the last time, what is the name of the publication?
Let me speak. Be quiet. American Physical Society 2007 Annual Meeting of the Division of Nuclear Physics, October 10, 13, 2007, Abstract ID.
Okay. That is not the name of a publication. That was a conference, obviously, or something along those lines, where a presentation was given. Forever incel hilarious. Oh, hop count, you should have come up if you're a physicist. Yeah, that guy clearly was not a physicist. Yeah, I'm running because I gave you 1,000 chances and you couldn't. Hey, thanks, Tesla Doctor. Oh my God. Oh, by Eunice's name. By the sparkly tail itself. Okay, so that was fun. All right, so if you are LARPing as a physicist. Hey, thanks, Tesla Doctor. You fucking rule. Well, that's definitely true, Buckshot. Most physicists don't believe in God. That's a good point, Steph. Yo, back at you at whatever your name is. What the fuck is this? Andrew. I just had to remember that you're Andrew. We're going to do one of these and then one of those. All right. So if you are in the guest queue or thinking about joining, make sure that you are 18 plus and that you have some kind of argument or evidence that will provide rational justification for your God belief. Hi, V. How old are you?
28.
All right. And what version of God do you believe in?
What version I believe in? Jesus.
Okay. And what would you say is the best argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in a God?
I mean, all the evidence is on the planet, so I mean.
Okay, I haven't ever seen any evidence for God, so you'll have to tell me what it is.
I mean, over there at the Holy Land, the evidence is still over there.
Yep, I'm not aware of any evidence, so you'll have to actually tell me what it is.
Okay, Noah's Ark.
Where can I find Noah's Ark?
I might have to reread it, but I'm gonna just say it like this.
Where can I find Noah's Ark?
I'm gonna just say it like this. I ain't about to argue.
Okay,
How
well,
you
that's all
think
I'm looking
he?
for is like the argument or the evidence that would give us a reason to believe in a God.
This is what I'm telling
So
you
do you
though.
have anything like that?
How did mankind even
So I will
got
ask you
placed on Earth?
again, do you have any arguments or evidence for God?
Well, I'm gonna just say it like this: if we got "In God We Trust" on the back of a dollar bill,
That just means other people believe in God, probably without reason.
nah.
So what would be the reason to believe in a God?
Well, this theory just happened where they just put all this stuff on a soda can.
So I still haven't heard anything about it. I haven't heard any evidence from you. Do you have anything? This is the last time I'm asking.
Well, hang up. I ain't gonna be on it no more.
All right, take care of yourself. They fold pretty fast when you just want the evidence. All right, if you're in the guest queue or thinking about joining, make sure that you're 18 plus and you have some kind of argument or evidence that will provide justification to believe in a God. Yeah, that's so funny. The TikTok and YouTube both said at the same time that "In God We Trust" was added because of the Cold War and the Red Scare. Start worshiping carbon because if it wasn't for carbon, we wouldn't be here. That's funny. I knew what you meant, Hop Count. Is Air going to join? No? Bueller. All right, if you don't connect shortly, I'm going to disconnect and move on. 3, 2, 1. All right, fair enough. Yeah, 100% Obelisk, because the pledge was Cold War propaganda as well. All right, if you're in the guest queue or thinking about joining, make sure that you're an adult and you have some kind of argument or evidence that will provide justification to believe in a God. Hi, Doug. How old are you?
About to be 38.
All right, and what God do you believe in?
I'm on the same page as you. I don't believe in anything. I want to ask you, if you don't mind, what evidence do you have when you tell people that's not true or this is not factual? As far as what evidence you have?
I'm not sure what you're asking.
So you say when you tell people to come up on the podium and they're like, well, what do you believe in? How do you know that's not true? As far as like what they reiterate to you, as far as like what the Bible says, or
just
like
years
that?
and years of research.
Okay.
I've
What platform is that, or where do you get your information from?
All kinds of places, man. I've been obsessed with this stuff since I was 15 and I'm 40 now. So I've spent the last 25 years reading, listening to debates, researching, talking to people, all kinds of stuff. And then for the last, I don't know, I guess 5 months, I've been on here debating pretty consistently. I'm to the point now where I'm doing this for like 2 to 3 hours a day, every day. And yeah, I mean, it just is repetition. I've heard all of the arguments a million times, and I've heard them refuted a million times. I've heard the bad versions. I've heard the good versions. I've heard the bad refutations. I've heard the good refutations. For the last like maybe 8 or 9 months, I've spent. I've been like obsessively reading philosophy books. Yeah.
But what actually proves, and I'm not going to sit here and say you're not right or wrong, because I've had these arguments before with people, but what makes your information correct versus, say, mine or anybody else that has come up and said something? Like, what actual proof do you have that you're right versus they're wrong, in a sense?
Well, it depends on what the thing is. It's going to be different for different claims. But essentially what it's going to boil down to is just reality, right? It's just like the things I know that I can say the things that I'm saying with confidence because I have already looked into it and I know that I have good reason to believe that the things I'm saying are correct. And I obviously other people could come up here and disagree with me. And if I was presented with a reason to think that I was wrong about something, then I would change my position. It has happened live on my stream before where I have made a claim. Someone has demonstrated to me that I was wrong, and I changed my position, and I've never made those claims again.
That's fair.
So I mean, that's the best I can tell you. I spent a long time being wrong about stuff, and I'm sure that there's some stuff that I'm still wrong about, but I just don't know what it is until I'm given that reason to believe I'm wrong. But I appreciate you for being here. Thank you, and I hope you have a good one. If you are in the guest queue or thinking about joining, make sure that you are 18 plus and that you have some kind of argument or evidence that will provide rational justification to believe in a God. What makes you right? Hey, thanks, Tesla Doctor. Gotta look what this is again. That's the Dr. Jones, excuse me. %62%. Oh, how close I am to getting to 10,000 followers. Yeah, you're not connecting, Air. You didn't connect last time either. You want to request again? It didn't on my side. It just showed the spinning dots. If you want to try again, I'll accept. I mean, liking the live is certainly appreciated if you feel so inclined. You can also go subscribe to my YouTube if you feel so inclined. I've also got my PayPal and Venmo on the screen if you feel so inclined to support me in that way. If not, obviously no problem. Not an expectation. And then I also have the Discord where you could join and we can have good conversations and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, well, it doesn't seem like Air. Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I used to yell at everybody for liking. No more likes, no shares. We don't. Unlike. Bradley Cooper probably remembers that. I don't remember. I don't know how many people were here that long ago. Both sides probably remembers that. Oh man, that feels like forever ago. All right. Well, if you're in the guest queue or thinking about joining, make sure that you are 18 plus and that you have some kind of argument or evidence that will provide rational justification for your God belief. Yeah, both sides have been here forever. Thank you. Hey, I appreciate you, Steph. Whether it's one comment or 50 or whatever, I appreciate you immensely. I definitely do not consider you low tier, Steph. Just clarifying. Okay, well, apparently that person didn't connect. Right, Obelisk? Yeah, you've been around. Hey, Bames and Ben. And, oh, Paul. I miss Paul. I don't know if you're still there, Paul, but hi, Paul. All right. So, yeah, currently, the only person requesting seems to be someone, I don't know, I was told that they're a child, so I'm not bringing children up. I feel like I fucked up by bringing that one person up and not immediately dropping them. And yeah, I don't want to. Why did I yell at people for liking and commenting? I used to joke about telling people not to like the live. I used to joke about that all the time and pretend I was mad at people for liking the live. Yeah, reverse psychology, exactly both sides. I would see someone liking and I would be like, "Don't like," and then they would like a ton, right? And so it was just I just thought it was funny. AL Grant, you're not requesting. I can't bring you up if you're not even in the queue. I do not request people to come up. Yes, Tree, pretend mad. Unlike now, where I'm real mad. I was just always fucking around. I don't really, Kimchi, don't make me turn this live around. I'll do it. No, I don't do this for like recognition. I don't do this for like, I don't do it for the likes or for the views or for validation. I'm doing this because I enjoy. Yes, exactly. 3 pips. Stop requesting. I do this because I enjoy having these conversations. I enjoy putting my positions on the line. I enjoy the challenge of letting anyone come up who wants to and having to deal with whatever their argument is or whatever their refutation of my arguments are. Like, I like that. I think that, you know, is something that, that's something that I get enjoyment out of. But it doesn't seem like anybody's requesting, and I don't really have long enough left to make it worth a reset. Because all that's going to happen is I would reset, and then, you know, by the time people start coming up, I got to get going. So we'll probably just go ahead and call the live. It's been, you know, well, yeah, over 2.5 hours. But I appreciate everyone so much for all the support. I suppose I should make sure to, you know, remind you guys. Oh, yeah, I did already. Oh, fuck. Maria Victoria, thank you so much. Lobes, Turtle on Wheels, that's awesome. Desolate Doctor, Ayukabina, Doc Nancy, Kimchi, someone else, 869, Lem, Doug Bell. Thank you guys sincerely. Yeah, that's exactly like me, Obelisk. People always think that I'm mad on here, and I don't know. I talk loud, I guess. I'm a large, loud person. But anyway, as I always say at the end of my lives, remember that tomorrow is not guaranteed. You don't know how many opportunities you have left to let your